What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 3 nanoseconds. Chapter 76. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. For Su-Yu, Jiraiya was summoned this time, and he was indeed a little surprised. Because, plus Jiraiya's words, there will be 2 characters summoned from Naruto world. Unexpectedly, the worlds of the characters summoned so soon have overlapped. Su-Yu murmured inwardly. Need me to introduce you to it? Su-Yu said lightly. Jiraiya grinned. No need, Captain Su-Yu, because that mysterious voice has already told me. Mysterious voice. Su-Yu was startled slightly, guessing that what he was talking about should be that the system was right. Right. Jiraiya pointed to his brain and continued. Before I came to this world, the voice that suddenly appeared in my mind had already told me. Okay, even the system has already told Jiraiya some of the situation, which also saves Su-Yu time for explanation. Our partner, did that mysterious voice tell you too? Su-Yu asked again. Partner, not really. Then wait for them to come, I'll introduce it to you. Su-Yu said, picked up a bottle of wine on the ground and handed it to Jiraiya. Good wine, try it. Thank you so much. Jiraiya smiled slightly, not being polite to Su-Yu. After a sip, Jiraiya leaked a smile. It's really good wine. The waiting time was long. The two of them were drinking and chatting, talking and laughing. Suddenly, Jiraiya turned around and smiled. Or, let's find something interesting to do. Interesting things, like, come with me, Jiraiya said, getting up and leaving. Although Su-Yu had some doubts in her heart, she still followed. However, when Jiraiya went around the bathhouse, Su-Yu had already guessed that Jiraiya wanted to peep into the women's bathhouse. You guy, don't you want to peep, right? Su-Yu asked in a low voice. Jiraiya did not answer, but smiled slightly at Su-Yu, then climbed up the high wall, looking towards a small gap. Sure enough, Pervy Sage's name is not for nothing. Su-Yu said helplessly. After dozens of seconds, Su-Yu saw no movement from Jiraiya, and asked again. Hey, what did you see? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Jiraiya turned his head and said solemnly to Su-Yu below, no. I didn't see anything. Su-Yu frowned. If it were normal, he might believe it, but Jiraiya's nose was bleeding all over. Can you be more fake? Su-Yu vomited. He, do you want to come up and have a look? Jiraiya asked with a slight smile. My sumo will do such a sneaky thing. Let, you blocked me, I'll just take a glance to see what's going on. A few minutes later, Su-Yu and Jiraiya both got off the high wall. How is it? Is it exciting? Jiraiya raised an eyebrow at Su-Yu and asked. It's too foggy, I didn't see it. Come on, we were still chatting energetically on the high wall just now, and now you tell me it is too foggy, didn't you see it? Jiraiya retorted. Just as these words fell, suddenly, above the midair, a figure fell in front of Su-Yu. And he is Aizen. Where are they? Su-Yu asked. It's all on the boat, now there is bad news. Aizen's expression was a bit solemn. Bad news. Have you been discovered by Marine on this island? Su-Yu continued to ask. It seems a bit serious this time, Marine's battleship has surrounded the entire island. Aizen said calmly. Su-Yu was silent for a while, and closed the entire island. Who are they going to catch? It won't be us. Aizen shook his head slightly, then said, I don't know, the supplies have been replenished, let's leave first. Having said that, Aizen looked at Jiraiya beside Su-Yu and continued, who is he? New member, Jiraiya, Su-Yu replied. Aizen nodded, just about to say something, suddenly, from the sky, there was a screaming voice. Everyone looked up, and the sky was densely black. Yes, these dense black objects are just shells. Aizen, are you sure it is Marine? Isn't it a pirate? Su-Yu frowned and asked. It must be Marine, I flew over to take a look, and this time there are more Marines than we have ever encountered before. Aizen said calmly. Su-Yu's mind suddenly flashed an idea, his eyes flashed, and his face became a little ugly. Quote. Diaresis disregarding everything on the island, directly destroying the attack, and I heard that there are still a lot of them. Could it be that the world government launched the order to kill demons? Su-Yu guessed. Those who can meet the current situation will be the order to kill demons later. Devil killing order. What is it? Jiraiya asked with a puzzled look. There is no time to explain, so let's talk about this topic when you have time. At the same time, Su-Yu and Aizen simultaneously used armament hockey to explode, detonating shells around them in midair. Boom. Above Su-Yu and their heads, thick smoke clouded the sun. In other places, there were continuous explosions. The originally prosperous town, in a short moment, became smoky, and Feng Li Qian's was completely in ruins. We have to get back to the boat as fast as possible. Su-Yu said in a deep voice. Aizen directly grabbed Su-Yu with one hand, and Jiraiya with the other, and flew up, flying to the beach at the fastest speed. In the sea, Gang Gukong took a telescope to observe, and then said to the golden phone bug on the other hand, continue. Bang 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 chin. Boom. Countless shells shot out from the muzzle quickly, tracing a gorgeous solitary line in midair, and landed on the island. Boom. It was another blow from the distance, and the situation on the island was basically unclear, because the entire island was enveloped in black smoke. Chapter 77. At the same time, above the air, Su Yu looked at the black smoke billowing town behind him. In the black smoke, he vaguely saw some survivors, fleeing at a loss. A woman held a child covered in blood and cried up to the sky. Seeing this scene, Su Yu's heart was slightly moved. Thinking of Marine talking about justice, Su Yu laughed. Maybe this is what they call justice. These guys are not human. Jiraiya frowned, and the look on her face was very solemn. Perhaps, these Marines started the killing order because of us, Aizen said while flying. Even if it is chasing us, it can't involve the innocent. Jiraiya said in a deep voice. Any world is very realistic. There is only a dead end waiting for the weak. It is just a matter of time. If we are the same as them, then we will also suffer the same experience as them. Su Yu said calmly. Weakness itself is a sin. If you want peace, you must have strong strength. Otherwise, what do you use to maintain your peace? Aizen said lightly. Jiraiya didn't speak, looking at the 580 slow island covered in black smoke. Look ahead. At this moment, Aizen said again. Hearing that, Su Yu and Jiraiya both looked forward, and what they saw in their eyes were countless warships sailing in the sea. Good scale. There is no other big movement on the island. There is an 80% chance that the Demon Slayer order was launched against us. Aizen said in a deep voice. Ha ha ha, world government really can look down on us, Tumo Ling said to start it. Su Yu sneered. Soon, Su Yu and the others have arrived on the ship. How about it, the ship is not damaged? Su Yu asked. Don't worry, those shells were blocked by us. Wu Luki said. This is. Lem looked at Jiraiya and asked Su Yu. New member, Jiraiya, other introductions, wait until I leave here. Su Yu said. However, the moment Jiraiya landed on the boat, his attention was always on Senju Hashirama. In the end, he couldn't help but walk to Senju Hashirama's side. Are you, Lord First Hokage? Upon hearing this, Senju Hashirama looked at Jiraiya in surprise. You are. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It is normal for Senju Hashirama not to know Jiraiya, after all, they are not people of the same age. As a junior, Jiraiya has seen the portrait of Senju Hashirama and the rock statue. I'm Jiraiya, the apprentice of teacher 3rd Hokage Sarutobi. Jiraiya said. Senju Hashirama was slightly startled when he heard the words. He hadn't really thought that he would meet members of the same world and the same village as himself. So you are the apprentice of the monkey, Jiraiya, I and you are in the same world. Senju Hashirama smiled slightly. Is it in the same world? Aizen muttered, and cast his eyes on Su Yu again. You too, if you want to renew the past, please wait for us to leave and renew the past. Wu Luki reminded. The ship slowly left the shore and sailed towards the endless sea. On the marine battleship, a voice came from the phone worm. The target has been evacuated from the island and is driving towards us. Report the specific location, Steel Bone asked. West. Where is Zephyr? You hold on, and other warships will support you immediately. Gengukong said calmly. As Gengukong said, Su Yu and the others hadn't sailed for a minute before their path was blocked by the marine battleship. Marine surrounded the road ahead to death, Su Yu and the others had only 2 ways to go. One is to step over from the marine battleship. The second is to retreat, but the result is still the same. There is no chance of fleeing without a fight. I have been waiting for you for a long time, Su Yu. Black Bull Zephyr grinned. Do you think you can kill us by launching the Demon Slayer order? Su Yu sneered. Try it and you'll know. Black Bull Zephyr said, then waved his hand, and then shouted, shoot. Kaka. The gun muzzles of the warships in all directions were aimed at Su Yu's ship. Bang bang bang. Bang bang bang. Most of the boats started shooting, a small number of boats started to move forward, keeping a certain distance from Su Yu and his boat. His goal was obviously to enclose Su Yu's boat. Summoning technique. Jiraiya quickly sealed, and then slapped one hand on the ship's armor. But in the next second, there was no movement. Oops, I almost forgot. This is another world, and some techniques can no longer be used. With a murmur, Jiraiya reacted quickly and renewed the seal. Fire-style flame bomb. Taking a breath, a ball of flame spurted from Jiraiya's mouth and hit the oncoming cannonball. Wu Luki wielded a 1000-edged magic sword and slashed directly, and suddenly a powerful sword aura cut open the cannonball coming from the other side. They defended, and Su Yu launched an attack. Fire punch. With a shout, a huge blue flame rushed in the direction of Zephyr, the Black Bull. Seeing the Black Bull Zephyr, he slowly raised his hand, and immediately armament haki was released. The flame was separated directly in the middle. Boom. However, in addition to the Black Bull Zephyr that was not harmed, the ships next to him were also damaged to varying degrees. The strength of the Black Bull Zephyr is still not to be glimpsed, although it is not demon fruit power, but that guy has also developed armament haki to a very strong state. Chapter 78. It doesn't matter whether people are not people or anything, just sifting their boats into a sieve and talking. Black Bull Zephyr yelled, then the corners of his mouth rose slightly, staring at Su Yu and the others. This is indeed a good way. As long as there is no ship, the chances of Su Yu and the others will be greatly reduced. At the same time, not far from the sea, the wind was turbulent, and above the sky, dark clouds quickly flew towards the island. Yes, it is going to rain. This increased the danger for both Suyu and Marine. The encirclement of the Marine battleship has been formed. Fire. Boom. A new round of offensive began, with countless shells coming from all directions. 81 of Bakuto splitting void. Aizen whispered, and suddenly, a huge defensive wall appeared out of thin air. Boom boom boom. All the shells exploded on the defense. We are already surrounded. We can only destroy their battleship before our ship can pass through. Aizen said. Suyu was silent for a while, and then said, tell me about the battle plan, Aizen. Ram, you are in charge of the ship. Jiraiya, Wuluki, Hashirama is in charge of the advance. What do you think? It doesn't matter. Aizen smiled slightly. The expression on his face remained the same as before, with no change. I have no problem. Everyone nodded. Okay, it's so decided. You guys pay attention to safety. Lem exhorted. Suyu turned her head and the corners of her mouth raised slightly. We can definitely leave without incident. Okay, brothers, let's do a good job. With that, Suyu stretched out his fists. Everyone smiled and stretched out their fists, and then they collided together. Stroke them all down. It should have caused this group of Marines to suffer. Let them remember this miraculous day forever. Let them pay the price for their innocent lives. Jiraiya also said. Set off. Drink. Everyone was full of enthusiasm, and the voice fell off. Senju Hashirama and Jiraiya started to move toward the left and right, and jumped directly and landed on the sea. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Then walk quickly on the surface of the sea. Yes, in their world, this kind of ninjutsu to walk on the surface is just a basic introduction. However, in this world, it is a little special. When the soldiers on the marine battleships on the left and right saw this scene, they were a little dumbfounded. I'm not dazzled. Is this guy rushing towards us on the surface of the sea? Is he demon fruit power? It should be. What exactly it is, I think it should be the ability to lighten the body. One of the marine soldiers guessed. This may not be his devil fruit ability. I see something similar to our Marine 6 styles moonwalk. Another marine soldier retorted. How is it possible? This definitely won't be moonwalk. Hey, this is not the time to talk about this, said Major General Marine, the person in charge of the battleship coldly. Sorry, Major General, ready to fight, Major General Marine shouted. Tatata, a group of marine soldiers holding long guns came to the front one after another, and then shot towards Senju Hashirama who was approaching step by step. Senju Hashirama kept dodging on the sea. I saw his hands nod, calmly said, wood-style multiple wood clone technique. Boom. With the appearance of dozens of white smoke, dozens of Senju Hashirama appeared on the sea. This scene directly stunned the marine of that battleship. Could it be that? Is it my dizziness? I changed from one person to so many in a few shots. The marine soldier stunned. If you say that, then I will be blind. What the hell is this guy's devil fruit ability, so many of them can be separated out at once? Major General Marine frowned and whispered. Stop shooting, if I guess correctly, because our bullet hit him, he will reappear as himself. This devil fruit ability is a bit tricky. Find flowers. If Senju Hashirama had heard Major General Marine clearly, he probably couldn't help laughing on the spot. In less than a minute, Senju Hashirama had boarded the marine battleship and launched an attack. The marine soldiers really gave up the use of firearms and directly attacked with melee weapons, according to Major General Marine's statement. You know, in addition to Senju Hashirama's powerful ninjutsu, his own body art is also very powerful. Although these can be regarded as marine elites, for Senju Hashirama, they are no different from cannon fodder. Boom boom boom. On the battleship, explosions sounded in many places, and the so-called marine elites were shot into the sea one by one. ... 0. Damn it, you fellow. The Marine Major General had a terrifying face, and he directly attacked Senju Hashirama with his long sword in his hand. Upon seeing this, Senju Hashirama flashed, easily dodged the attack, and then slammed a punch. Boom. Major General Marine fell directly to the ground, half of his body stuck directly onto the ship's deck. Quick battle and quick decision. Wood-style wood dragon technique. Senju Hashirama put his hands together again, and on the ship's deck, a huge wooden dragon with a long hooked nose and thorns directly entangled the entire battleship. Immediately afterwards, Mulong's body began to shrink slowly, the battleship began to collapse and split, and some equipment on the ship began to fall into the sea. Boom. In the next second, the entire battleship sank directly to the bottom of the sea, setting off a huge wave of spray. When the waves fell, dozens of Senju Hashirama stood on the sea, and some marine soldiers who were still alive began to swim frantically. For them, Senju Hashirama is not interested, his goal is to destroy these warships. Immediately afterwards, Senju Hashirama began to run madly across the sea again, rushing towards another warship. Jiraiya and Wuluki also started fighting. Suyu came to the battleship of Zephyr in the Black Bowl. Chapter 79. Black-wrist Zephyr scanned the attack ships on the left and right sides. It seems to be a lot more difficult than expected. It's interesting. No wonder you dare to go straight through the Holy Land, Mary Geois. The world government is trying to break your wings while the wings are not fully full. As soon as the voice fell, a large group of marine elites, holding guns in their hands, came to the Black-wrist Zephyr's side, and raised their guns to aim at Suyu. Get out and let me come. Black-wrist Zephyr said suddenly. Marine glanced at him, did not say much, and stepped back behind Black-wrist Zephyr. Are you so confident? Suyu asked calmly, Ha 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 ha. Black Wrist Zephyr laughed. If I can't beat you, then it's useless if they come. The Black Wrist Zephyr said this is true, even though these marine elites may be more severely trained than ordinary marines. The strength is also stronger, but in the eyes of the strong, it is still nothing but cannon fodder. Su Yu just wanted to say something. Zephyr rushed over. Su Yu swallowed when he reached his mouth, and quickly entered a fighting state. Boom. The two quickly fought together, and the airflow was also generated by the fists. This guy named Su Yu is also outrageous. Marine soldier said. Aren't you talking nonsense? Don't you dare to pass directly through the world government headquarters and arrive at New World. Not strong. The world government will launch an order to kill demons against their pirate group. It seems to be the same thing. Black Wrist Zephyr jumped straight up. Armament hockey covered his hand. Boom. His fist hit Su Yu's arm directly. Crack. A crack appeared directly on the deck of the ship under Su Yu's feet, and then the whole person sank a little. Boom. Black Wrist Zephyr attacked again quickly, very fast. Su Yu has been in a defensive state. What's going on? Is it that way? Is it just this kind of strength? You just give some reaction. Black-handed Zephyr sneered while constantly attacking Su Yu. Su Yu frowned slightly, then his body flashed thunder and lightning. What he just did was just to test the foundation of Zephyr the Black Wrist. Boom. Su Yu directly blocked the Black Wrist Zephyr's fist with one hand, and immediately followed. The whole person was directly backed by half a meter by the impact. You are very noisy. It makes people very hot. As Su Yu's voice fell, a pair of horns began to grow on his head. Seeing this scene, Black Wrist Zephyr frowned slightly. Zitsa. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Su Yu's palm began to flash with blue lightning, and Zephyr, the Black Wrist, quickly retracted his fist and dodged to the right. Really? In the next second, a thunder and lightning flashed directly from where he was just now. Boom. Between the lightning and flint, the protruding part of the battleship and the marine banner disappeared. Black Wrist Zephyr looked at the damaged area, then looked at Su Yu. What's the matter? Isn't that guy's devil fruit ability related to flames? Can he grow a pair of horns and lightning? While muttering, Su Yu descended from the sky. Boom. This time it was the Black Wrist Zephyr's turn to defend, and Su Yu kept attacking. Bang bang bang. Boom boom boom. Zertzi. The flames bombarded the battleship continuously, and the lightning flashed directly on the deck of the ship, and some nearby marine soldiers were directly stunned. Damn it, the speed and strength have been greatly improved all of a sudden. What kind of devil fruit this guy is eating? Black Wrist Zephyr sweated on his forehead. At the same time, Su Yu came to the Black Wrist Zephyr at an extremely fast speed, covering armament hockey with both hands. Then he punched out. Black Wrist Zephyr hurriedly reached out to resist. Boom. A strong air current was generated, and the Black Wrist Zephyr flew out directly, his body constantly passing through the surrounding objects. Crack. His body almost fell into the sea, but fortunately, he grabbed the railing of the boat with one hand and then stopped. Tatata. Su Yu is slowly walking towards him. Suddenly, at this moment, dee-da, the rain drops on the deck of the ship. Yes, it's raining. Above the sky, thunder and lightning flickered. Su Yu looked up at the sky and stopped. Immediately afterwards, the corners of his mouth rose slightly, and he had a better idea. Zephyr, when I met for the first time, I decided to give you a big gift. Su Yu said with a smile. Black Wrist Zephyr got up and stood firmly, looking at Su Yu with some uneasy eyes. You guy, what are you going to do? What are you doing? You'll know right away. While speaking, a blue light suddenly appeared in the sky above the dark clouds. Black Wrist Zephyr and some marines looked up. In an instant, their pupils shrank violently. Because what fell from above was no longer ordinary raindrops, but raindrops with blue flames. This ability is Su Yu's ability after awakening the fruit, which can make the surrounding objects undergo qualitative changes. Hurry up and hide, Black Wrist Zephyr yelled, and he quickly used armament hockey to resist. Dita. Drops of rain, braving blue flames, fell on the deck of the ship, and suddenly began to burn. And some marine soldiers were accidentally hit by raindrops, and the whole person burned instantly. Black Wrist Zephyr looked at the raindrops flying by his armament hockey, and muttered, does 3.6 just make the raindrops into flames? If it's just like this, then it's not a big problem. As soon as the voice fell, Su Yu added something to him. Of course not. After all, the inside of the raindrops instantly turned black, while the outside was still braving with blue flames. That's right, Su Yu covered these raindrops with armament hockey. This is not a large-scale coverage. Of course, it is possible in his field if Su Yu wants to. It just consumes hockey too much. Shoo. Raindrops fell like bullets toward the Black Wrist Zephyr. Chapter 80. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Boom. At first, Zephyr was barely able to stop the Black Wrist, but as the number increased, he started to get a little strenuous. If this continues, it won't take long for him to withstand it. Drink. The Black Wrist Zephyr released armament hockey for the last time and bounced some raindrops. The next second, he grabbed the gap and jumped directly into the sea. Dang. The blue raindrops dropped directly on the deck of the ship, penetrating directly like bullets. In the blink of an eye, the place where Zephyr the Black Wrist stood just now has become a sieve. Holy Land Mary Geois. On the window of a certain castle. Two men looked out the window, one man wiped his weapon carefully, and the other two were sitting on the sofa. Two Moling has been activated for some time, I don't know how the current battle is going. The man standing by the window turned his head and suddenly said. It's not clear yet, I haven't received 12 of their battle status yet. Another man replied. In a certain area of New World, Marine found traces of the Roger pirates. The bearded man said calmly. Roger pirates, what's the situation? Is he going to kick this demon slayer order too? The man by the window said coldly. It should not be. Their sailing route is wrong, and they won't interfere with this time of massacre. The long-bearded man explained. What about Rock's pirate? Rock's pirate still hasn't found a trace, so Rock's pirate can also be ruled out. In this way, this time, the light of the Super Dimension pirate group can be erased from history. After Marine returns, he immediately blocked information about the Super Dimension pirate group. In addition, the information that the Super Dimension pirate group arrived at New World from the Holy Land Mary Geois will also be blocked. That's right. One of the men stood up from the sofa and said calmly, this stain must be erased because it is about our reputation as the world government. New World, the sea area where Su Yu is located. At this time, thunder and wind were blowing. The downpour was constantly beating all the ships. The huge waves hit layer after layer. All ships are swaying, and it seems that they may be swallowed by this endless deep sea at any time. Shoo! The shells hit Su Yu's ship one after another. But before it got close to the ship, the shells were blocked by Aizen and Lem. Not only was it raining heavily, but it was also foggy. Rem said worriedly, read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Yes, I hope Su Yu and the others will be safe. Ram was also worried, and now they can only see some dim lights on the sea when they look at it. At this moment, Senju Hashirama, Jiraiya, and Wu Luki all return to the boat. A road has been opened to the east, but hurry up, there are other warships slowly approaching. Senju Hashirama said solemnly. I can't do it over there. The hole was originally broken, but it was blocked again. Moreover, the guy who came seems to be very powerful. Wu Luki replied. Jiraiya, where's your side? Rem asked. The same can't work. They just opened a road and they immediately moved closer. Jiraiya said truthfully. Where is Su Yu? Senju Hashirama asked. I don't know, he hasn't come back yet. Lem and Ram said in unison. At the same time, Su Yu's fighting situation there. He has destroyed 4 battleships in total. As for the Marine elite, this is not clear, he didn't pay much attention. Pouch. Black-wrist Zephyr directly vomited a mouthful of blood. Yes, he was injured. Su Yu held a huge fireball in his hand, then said to the black-wrist Zephyr, goodbye. After all, he directly threw the fireball towards him. Boom. Immediately exploded directly, and the entire battleship was directly divided into 2. And Su Yu used Thunder Fruit's teleportation to constantly watch his ship approach. Of course, his teleportation needs to use the electric field released by Thunder Fruit, and the incarnation current moves in the electric field, ignoring obstacles. After a while, Su Yu returned to his boat. You finally came back, Su Yu, I thought something happened to you. Lem ran over and hugged Su Yu. Su Yu touched her wet hair and smiled. I said it, we can definitely leave today. How's the battle going on your side? Senju Hashirama asked. It's all settled, let's sail directly from the front. Su Yu said calmly, as if thinking of something, he continued, by the way, a few people are required to go ahead and have a look. There are many wrecks of warships on the sea. Be careful not to hit on it. Leave it to me. Wu Luki took the initiative to accept the task. And me, Jiraiya also said, it is good. Su Yu nodded. Stay here for more variables, let's set off directly. No problem. After all, Senju Hashirama quickly went to take the helm. Soon, the ship started trembling and sailing. Passing through the thick white fog, in less than a minute of 583, everyone's face became very solemn. Yes, they were surrounded again. Above the huge battleship in front, the steel skeleton stood in front of the ship, looking directly at Su Yu's ship. Next to Gangukong, the black bull Zephyr was also there, apparently the arrival of Gangukong, he was fished up from the sea. Su Yu, you can't leave this sea area today. Gangukong shouted angrily. Su Yu frowned, her face no longer smiling. You guys really make people very hot. Su Yu also roared. Give up resistance. Fart, do you think you won? Even if we really can't run away, I will pull you all down. Su Yu retorted. Ha 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 ha. Gang Gukong laughed. Su Yu did not continue to respond to him, but looked at Aizen and asked, can you lift this boat? Aizen was also a little surprised when he heard this, but he nodded, it's not difficult. Hold it directly over their heads, and then I want them to try the trick I recently developed. Chapter 81. Hey, just lift the boat directly and fly over Marine's head. Lem looked at Su Yu with wide-eyed eyes, and said in disbelief. This seems a bit too messy. Ram also said, I also feel that the risk is a bit big. Jiraiya also expressed his opinion. Yeah, if one is wrong, the whole ship will be smashed down directly. Wu Luki was also afraid of accidents. Su Yu did not listen to their opinions, but asked Aizen, can it work? Aizen did not remain silent, and smiled. Although it sounds absurd, but who told you to be our captain? There is no other way but to make you willful once. As soon as the voice fell, Aizen jumped directly into the sea. Is it true? Wu Luki frowned. In this case, you can only be crazy once, as Aizen said. Senju Hashirama said lightly. As soon as the voice fell, Suyu and the others clearly felt that the boat slowly floated up. In the blink of an eye, the ship left the sea and continued to rise. Gang Gukong was dumbfounded when he saw this scene. What's the matter? The ship is flying. Is this boat really not an ordinary boat? It seems that they have put a lot of effort into the boat. Look at it, it's not that the ship flew up, but someone lifted it up. That guy, hearing a word from Marine next to him, the steel-bonded brow furrowed even more severely. Suyu, what kind of demon is your boatman? Gang Gukong muttered. Fire, absolutely can't let them run. Black Bull Zephyr yelled. Kaka, point the muzzles of all battleships in the expected direction, and then fire. Bang bang bang. The shells fired continuously from the muzzle, tracing a stunning solitary line in midair, and landed in the direction of the Suyu ship. Wu Luki directly wielded the magic sword Thousand Blades and swung a slash. The crescent-shaped beam directly hit the cannonball. With a bang, it exploded directly in the air. Fire-style dragon fire. Jiraiya made a seal with both hands, then released a linear flame, directly impacting the remaining shells. The ship rose to a certain distance, and began to drift towards the steel hollow. They flew towards us. Does it fly directly over our heads? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. These guys are crazy too. Don't want to leave. Gang Bone Kong shouted, using Marine 6 style's moonwalk to walk in the air, step by step towards the ship above. Armament Hockey covered his hands and attacked directly towards Aizen. Aizen looked at the steel bone empty, a smile leaked from the corner of his mouth, just about to launch an attack. Unexpectedly, at the same time, Senju Hashirama directly descended from the sky, covering his hands with armed color, and adding his own strange power, he directly hit a steel bone by surprise. Boom. The steel frame fell directly into the sea. Boom. Huge waves splashed. At this time, a tree root quickly grabbed Senju Hashirama, who was also falling, and pulled back to the boat. Now it's me. After all, Suyu jumped straight up and jumped onto the pole of the pirate flag. The next second, thunder and lightning flashed all over him. Thunder God's fury. Boom. Suddenly, from his body, a huge lightning rushed towards the dark clouds, and then a huge blue thunderball appeared in the sky where the dark clouds had obscured the sun. Gengukong also crawled back to the ship at this time. When he saw the fusion of the sky, he subconsciously looked up. The next second, his face stiffened. What is this guy? What is going to do? Steel, I have a bad feeling. Black Bull Zephyr said. It's not just you, I also have a bad premonition. Gengukong said in a deep voice. As that, a thunderball. It looks very similar. Could it be that he wants to drop that huge thunderball directly? Damn it, it's still raining, we are easily implicated. Steel Bone Kong gritted his teeth and said coldly, Suyu, it seems that I still underestimated your ability. I originally thought it would be a very smooth destructive action, but I didn't expect the result to be it's what it is now. The steel is empty. Suyu looked down at the steel bones below, yelled, and then continued. This debt of the world government, I Suyu will let them double back one day, and I will dismantle the Holy Land Mary Geois directly. After all, thunder and lightning began to flash around the blue thunderball. Countless huge lightning began to fall from all directions of the thunderball. Hit in the sea, hit the battleship in marine. Suddenly, an area on the next side exploded directly. The monstrous waves rushed into the sky. Swallow everything in this sea. What is even more unexpected is that in the center, a huge Uzumaki appeared out of thin air. Begin to devour those lucky warships. Suyu cast his gaze back from below, then sighed heavily. Finally, it's over. As soon as the voice fell, Suyu jumped off the deck of the ship. They seem to have been swallowed by the sea, so they shouldn't be chasing them. Wu Luki looked at the Li Chenjiao sea area below, and spoke to Dok. Haha, chasing them. It's good for them to escape by themselves, where there is still energy to chase us. Suyu sneered. In this case, this battle is finally over. Senju Hashirama sighed. The debt of the world government has been written down. When the time comes, we will return it twice, right? Then we will have a celestial dragon's order. Suyu said indifferently. No matter what, everyone is fine, it's really great. Rem finally got release from his tight spirit, and a smile appeared on his face. Chapter 82. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Look, there is a boat below. Jiraiya held the boat fence with both hands and suddenly said. As soon as they heard that there was a boat, everyone's expressions changed suddenly. Then they cast their eyes on. Could it be that those Marines really caught up? Rem said solemnly. No, it's too dedicated. We will not give up unless we catch it. Wu Luki vomited. It seems that in order to destroy us, the world government guys really made a lot of effort. Senju Hashirama laughed helplessly. It's a pity, no matter how much effort they put in, they still failed. Ram said. When Suyu looked down, he quickly defended. Don't worry, this is not Marine's battleship, but pirates, the one we saw just before landing on the island. Everyone heard the words, looked carefully, and saw that it was not the Marine battleship, the Hanging Heart, and then they relaxed. It seems that they are also very strong, and they have also rushed out of the encirclement of the Marine battleship. Senju Hashirama guessed. Hearing Hashirama's words, Suyu also nodded in agreement, and was able to escape from the encirclement of Marine battleship 587. That means there is still some strength, but Suyu can't figure out why when he robbed them. They didn't even resist, they just compromised. Is this their special hobby? At this point, Suyu really couldn't figure it out. However, the actual situation is that the marine warship birds are not the same as Godoro, because Marine's target is the super-dimensional pirate group. Of course, if Godoro takes the initiative to attack, Marine will catch Godoro and the others casually. Boss, look, there is a guy flying a boat. A fat pirate said shiveringly. That ship seems to belong to Suyu and the others. Another pirate added. There are so many things that happened today. First, they were robbed and then almost besieged by Marine, but fortunately, they were all frightening in the end. The deputy captain sighed heavily. Are so many Marine warships unable to catch Suyu and the others? It seems that our previous caution is correct. The gang of super dimension pirates is really not something we can provoke. Godoro said solemnly. Godoro was a little grateful that he didn't mess around today, otherwise, he escaped Marine's catch, but he could not escape the pirate's catch. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. After a while, Aizen held the boat and passed through the sea with dark clouds and violent winds, and when he came to the sea with clear weather, he put the boat down. Then he also returned to the boat. Okay, now that I have time, I will introduce you to our new members. His name is Jiraiya, and he belongs to the same world as Senju Hashirama. Suyu first introduced Jiraiya to others. Then he introduced the other members of the ship to Jiraiya. Aizen, Lem, Ram, Wu Luki, the last one, you know, their first Hokage Lord, Senju Hashirama. In the future, we will be partners. If you don't understand, you can learn from us. Lem said with a grin. Jiraiya smiled slightly and gave a thumbs up. Then I can show you more. There shouldn't be any problems in the village right now. Senju Hashirama asked suddenly. Jiraiya shook his head and sighed. It's not as good as first Hokage thought. The War of the Five Nations still exists. After hearing this, Senju Hashirama didn't care too much, and laughed. After all, strictly speaking, he no longer belongs to that world. Ha 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 ha. Sure enough, a world without war does not exist at all. Of course, as long as there is a place to think, war is inevitable. Aizen said lightly. Hey, I originally wanted to go to the island and rest. I didn't expect that when I encountered this kind of thing, I didn't take a bath, but I got caught in the rain. Suyu waved his hand, slightly helpless. Everyone is hungry, I'm going to cook. Lem asked in a low voice. Prepare more, it will consume a lot today. Wu Luki exhorted. Ha 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 ha, if you don't say I haven't felt it yet, when you say it, I feel I am extremely hungry. Senju Hashirama fumbled his head and laughed. Don't worry, in order to celebrate our escape from Marine and the joining of new members, I will prepare a super rich banquet. Lem smiled. About an hour later, World Government Headquarters, Holy Land Mary Geois. After receiving the information from New World, one of the men blew the phone worm on the spot. What are you doing? So angry. Could it be that there is information that is not good for us from Gangukong? It looks like it's so angry, needless to say it is. The man who just answered the phone worm frowned and said solemnly, yes, you guessed it. The Demon Slayer order failed. The Super Dimension pirates successfully escaped, and Marine suffered a huge loss. How about the Super Dimensional pirate team battle? Another man asked. Everyone fled, none of them were caught. Quote quote. As soon as these words came out, the other four men couldn't calm down. What are you kidding? Tu Mo Ling, Tu Mo Ling. Did you slaughter an heir? This is simply another big taint of the world government. The demon killing order was launched, and the enemy did not suffer any loss. Our party suffered serious losses. Let's talk about it. What kind of face does the world government have? It is said that the bad weather at sea at that time caused a lot of impact on Marine. The man said. Excuse. Everything is just an excuse. Marine is affected. Isn't the Super Dimension Pirates group affected? Chapter 83. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Even though I thought about failing before, what I never thought was that it would be so outrageous. The bearded man said coldly. This time, the configuration of the Demon Slayer order is higher than normal, and the face of the world government is sweeping. Another man said helplessly. Okay, no matter how angry it is now, it's useless to say more. Failure has become a foregone conclusion. Let Marine make adjustments. It's time to recruit Marine on a large scale. The treatment must be adjusted so that more capable people and strangers can join Marine instead of becoming nauseating pirates. At present, I can only plan like this. On a certain island, Marine is stationed at the base hospital. Sengoku lay quietly on a huge hospital bed. And beside his bed, Garp and Crane are sitting there. It's too sudden. I didn't expect that the world government would directly launch a demon-killing order against the Super Dimension Pirate Group, Sengoku said in surprise. I don't think it's a big deal. It's probably because the world government has already felt a great threat, so it can do so suddenly. He explained to the side. What about Roger Pirates? What about Rock's Pirate? At present, which of these two pirates is not necessarily a threat to the Super Dimensional Pirates? If it really feels threatening, I think the order to kill demons should be issued to the other two. A pirate group is more suitable, Sengoku said slowly. Sengoku, what you said is correct. At the moment, it is indeed Roger and the threat of Rock's pirate is even greater, but the threat is a threat. At most, others are also doing things outside the world government. However, the guys from the Super Dimension Pirate Group went directly to other people's homes to make trouble. Who do you want to give to the Demon Slayer order? Garp said lightly. Quote. Although I don't want to admit what you said, Garp, but I have to say it sounds reasonable. He smiled. It's been so long, how is the battle going? Sengoku asked again. Garp said vaguely as he ate his snacks, it's over. How is the result? Garp swallowed the snacks from his mouth, then drank a few more sips of water, looking calm. This made Sengoku on the side anxious for him. It is said that Marine was defeated and the Super Dimension pirates did not fart. The demon-slaying order slaughtered an heir. Garp said casually, and then began to eat snacks again. Sengoku stared at the ceiling, pondered for a few seconds, and muttered to himself, I didn't expect this result. Sengoku, don't think too much, let's heal your wounds with peace of mind and return to us as soon as possible. Crane said softly. At this moment, Garp, who was eating snacks, inserted another sentence. But, there is a saying, the shipment of the Super Dimension Pirate Group is really terrible, and the Demon Slayer order can't inflict a trace of damage on him, it's just a monster, ha 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 ha. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Cough. The laugh was too ridiculous, Garp was choked by the snacks, and he quickly picked up the water on the side and drank gulps. Garp, you guy is obviously Marine who was defeated, but you are still very happy. If you tell an outsider that you are Marine, no one believes it. Sengoku murmured aside. Garp spread his hands and looked indifferent. How about it? Okay, at this time, you two should stop quarreling. Crane said helplessly. Host. Suyu. Summon. Aizen 45%, Rem 45%, Hashirama 50%, Wuluki 25%, Jiraiya 20%. Summoning character legacy. Hito Aizen, Ghost Blood Race, Rem, Wood Style, Sage Mode Hashirama. Summoning value. 0.40 Bring your own ability. Evolution. Special ability. Underfire, 1652,000, Thunderfruit, 821,000, Armament Hockey Intermediate, 1702,000, Observation Hockey, 1655,000, Conqueror's Hockey, 891,000. Warehouse. None. Task. Summon 8 crew members, 5/8. Suyu glanced at his attribute panel and saw the summon value column, his brain hurt slightly. He really doubted that one day he would wipe out all the valuable things in this pirate world. However, when he saw the next few columns, he was slightly delighted. Find flowers. It doesn't take long for his special abilities to evolve into more advanced special abilities. At that time, you need to find a lot of evolution materials. Jiraiya quickly became one with the other members. Time soon arrived the next day. A newspaper that was not published by the world government began to be passed on continuously in New World. Boss. On the Rocks pirate ship, a man with a newspaper hurriedly came to Rocks. What's wrong? What a fuss. Locks looked at the pirate with a cold look. The man's heart trembled slightly, and he quickly said, Suyu. Suyu is in the newspaper again. How long has that guy come to New World? Are you so anxious to become famous? Locks said coldly, then got up and took the newspaper in the hands of the pirate. After scanning it again, Locks said solemnly, a devastating blow, or did Suyu and the others escape? Ha, these useless Marines really laughed at me. Locks cursed the newspaper into a ball. Then he threw it on the ground, a little angry in his heart. Of course, if Marine destroys Suyu's Super Dimension pirates this time, Locks will be very happy, so he won't have to shoot himself. However, the result of the battle between Marine and the Super Dimension pirates made him very unhappy. At the same time, he was a little worried for some reason. Yes, Suyu's Super Dimensional pirate group grew too fast, completely beyond his expectations. Originally, Suyu and the others had not been regarded as the same thing, but now, he has to pay attention to it. Notify all the cadres, go to the meeting room, I have important things to announce. Locks said to the man. Okay, Captain, I'm going now. Chapter 84. It didn't take a while. Whitebeard, Kaido, Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, Longbread, and a few other characters who were not mentioned in the original book came to the meeting room. Captain Locks, this time, we need to invade the franchise country of the world government. Longbread asked with a slightly upward corner of his mouth. Ha, I also want to see if it is the world government's franchise country that will become the next hapless one. Captain Locks, before you announce which country you are joining, I want to report a good thing to you. There are several powerful pirates who want to join us. Rock's pirate. Locks waved his hand, motioning them not to speak. After all of them closed their mouths, Locks said, the content of the meeting at this time is not about invading a member of the world government, but let's talk about the Super Dimensional Pirate Group. Super Dimension Pirate Group. It sounds familiar, but I can't remember it for a while. Golden Lion pretended to say, and then cast his eyes on Kaido. Then startled and continued. Oh, I remember, it was the pirate group that beat Kaido twice. Shiki, don't think that I once lost to you, just thinking that I will never be your opponent. Kaido said coldly. Golden Lion didn't care what Kaido said, and just wanted to continue to say something, then Whitebeard spoke. The Super Dimensional Pirate Group, I think it is a pirate group with great potential. The last time I and Kaido played against their pirate group, if there were no Marines, I think the two of us might be a little tricky to deal with. Quote. That's right, Edward, their potential is really great. Just yesterday, the world government launched an order to kill the super-dimensional pirates. The result is even more unexpected. They didn't even lose, and most of all of the warships sank to the bottom of the sea. When Locke said this, everyone in the room was stunned. No way, those guys not only escaped, but they haven't lost any money yet. It seems that the potential of this rookie pirate group is extremely large. Captain Locks, if you tell us this, you must have some plans. Longbread asked. Locks nodded. Yes, brothers, I think it's time for us to pay attention to it, eat the super dimension pirate group, and conquer the crew as far as possible, and kill all those who can't. Some people are worried, and naturally others are happy. New World, a certain sea area, Roger Pirate Group. Ha 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 ha, it seems that I didn't misunderstand the wrong person, Su Yu, this time directly hit the face of the world government. Roger looked at the contents of the newspaper and smiled from ear to ear. It's really strong. I didn't expect the world government's Demon Slayer order to fall short. Rayleigh said lightly. I'm afraid that in the future, the world government will pay more attention to them. Copper Jabba continued. Roger took the newspaper back, and calmly said, it seems that our plan can be carried out in advance, Su Yu. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. A few days later. Su Yu on the boat. A group of people sat on the deck of the ship, quietly watching the new wanted order for a reward just received. Sister, my reward has reached 50 million Baileys. Lem said with a grin. Ram looked at his own and replied, Rem, mine is the same. I'm going to see Su Yu's. Having said that, Lem walked up to Su Yu and said, Su Yu, how much is your bounty? Su Yu handed over his bounty and said softly, here, you can see for yourself. Rem took it, glanced at it, and then his eyes widened. 1 billion Baileys. Su Yu nodded. It is estimated that because of the killing order this time, the bounty of all members of the Su Yu ship has reached a substantial increase. Rem and Ram are both 50 million Baileys. Aizen directly soared to 850 million Baileys. Senju Hashirama 500 million Baileys. 5, 6, 7, 3 billion Baileys. Even Jiraiya, who just joined recently, has it. It's just that there are no portraits in the reward order, and there is just a sentence. The white long-haired member of the Super Dimension Pirate Group is offering a reward of 50 million Baileys. Wow, why does each of you improve so much? It's only 50 million Baileys for my sister and me for so long. Lame pouted and whispered. It is estimated that the world government is eccentric. Ha 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 ha, Su Yu grinned. Damn it, it's so irritating. In this way, more than 10 days passed in a blink of an eye on the New World waters. In the past 10 days, Su Yu encountered several pirate groups, all of them were pirate groups that Su Yu didn't know what they were called, and they all fought against each other. From their hands, Su Yu got a lot of treasures, even a devil fruit. That devil fruit was seen by Su Yu, named Chop Chop Fruit, which is the one that Buggy eats in the original book. However, this fruit is not suitable for all the members of Su Yu's ship, so Su Yu directly exchanged devil fruit for summon value. Host. Su Yu. Summon. Aizen 45%, Rem 45%, Hashirama 50%, Wuluki 25%, Jiraiya 25%. Summoning character legacy. Hito Aizen, Ghost Blood Race, Rem, Wood Style, Sage Mode Hashirama. Summon value. 40,000 40,000s. Bring your own ability. Evolution. Special ability. Underfire, 1,750 200 Thunder Fruit, 921 thousandths Armament Hockey Intermediate, 1800 2000 Observation Hockey, 1755 2000 Conqueror's Hockey, 951 thousandths. Warehouse. None. Task. Summon 8 crew members, 5/8. I really didn't expect that this time I could make up enough summon value for summoning a newcomer in such a short period of time. Su Yu glanced at his attribute panel, and said somewhat unexpectedly. Start calling. Ding dong, calling. Summon success. Congratulations to host for winning the Trembling Tornado from the world of One Punch Man. Chapter 85. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Tornado. Su Yu murmured, then raised his brow slightly. Of course, as an anime fan, how could Su Yu not know about Tornado? Accompanied by the sound of the system's improvement, it fell. As usual, many white light particles appeared beside Su Yu. Then the light particles slowly converge again together, and finally transform into a human form. Finally, starting from the feet, the legs of the light particles became real legs, and then began to change from bottom to top. In the blink of an eye, a lowly-faced woman with green curly hair and a black slit gown appeared in Su Yu's field of vision. Suddenly when he came to a strange place, Tornado was also a little surprised. After staying in place for a few seconds, she floated straight up and approached Su Yu. This is where. Su Yu swallowed hard, and then said, can you stay away from me first? We are discussing this topic. It's 12. At present, the face of the tornado is less than 10 centimeters from Su Yu's face. Su Yu will probably kiss him if he makes a random movement. Okay. Tornado was not embarrassed, and drifted back about 1 meter, then stopped, folded his hands on his chest, and continued to ask. Where is this place? Suyu returned to his senses, and then said lightly, didn't you have a mysterious voice reminding you before you came? Tornado tilted his head for a moment, then nodded. Say it. Then this place is the place where the sound in your mind reminds you. Suyu said calmly. Okay. Tornado nodded, and then continued. Then I hope we can get along well in the coming days. Welcome to you, Tornado. Suyu said, and then walked out of the training room, while continuing to say, come with me, I will take you to meet the other members. Tornado nodded, then followed out. As soon as I left the house, I ran into Wuluki. Before Suyu could speak, Wuluki first said, Suyu, you came out just right. We just happened to find you fishing together. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. While speaking, Wuluki noticed the tornado floating behind Suyu and was taken aback. Huh, who is this little girl? Little girl. Suyu was taken aback for a moment, but Wuluki would think that tornado was a little girl. After all, the tornado itself is not too high, and even more deadly, it has the face of Loli and the skin is very delicate. However, she is actually 28 years old. Little girl. Tornado raised his brows slightly, and then waved his hand. Wuluki directly hit the wall. My mother is much bigger than you, dare to call me a little girl. Wuluki buckled his body out of the wall, looked at the tornado with a dazed expression, and then looked at Suyu. Meow, I didn't do anything. The inexplicable one was hit on the wall, the kind that almost couldn't be deducted. What's up? As Wuluki was about to draw his sword, Suyu stopped immediately. Stop it all, internal fighting is not allowed on the ship. She is called Tornado and is a new member of our Super Dimension pirate group. Suyu said lightly. New member. Wuluki was taken aback. Well, what about them? Suyu asked. Are they all outside? Wuluki replied. Soon, when Suyu took the tornado out, everyone looked over. Are the new members here again? Lem murmured. But it looks a little bit young, it seems to be underage. Jiraiya on the side said. It looks so cute. Ram glanced at Tornado. Soon, Suyu said. I don't think I need to say, you should also know that this is a new member. I will briefly introduce her, she is called Dragon Roll. After the introduction, Suyu introduced the other members of the ship to Tornado one by one. The people here are the same as you, all from different worlds. From a different world, Tornado muttered, then glanced at the crowd, and showed a lot of interest. It seems that more than this 590 world, the people on this boat are very interesting. After the introduction, Suyu's task is considered completed, and then said to Wuluki, go, fishing. Hey, didn't I understand anything just now? Don't you tell me something I don't understand. Tornado said while looking at Suyu. If you don't understand anything, ask someone who is free on the boat. Most of them understand it. If they don't understand it, I may not understand it. Suyu dropped a word, then picked up the fishing rod that Wuluki had prepared first, and was ready to go fishing. At the same time, the people who were free on the boat, Lem and Ram, were afterwards. The two of them were very enthusiastic, walked to Tornado's side, and said with a smile. Tornado, if you don't understand anything, you can ask us both. No. Our captain is too perfunctory. Tornado's mouth trembles slightly. Chapter 86. It's good to get used to it. Don't look at our captain's young and promising appearance. In fact, he has always lived a life of the same standard as the elderly. Lem covered his mouth and discussed Suyu in a low voice. Ram added with a smile on his face. It's more than that. Most of the people on the boat have been infected by him. When nothing happens, they are like an old man. Old man. Tornado looked at the two Lem in surprise, and then looked at Suyu and the others. Yes, Ram nodded. It seems that the people on our ship are really special. Tornado frowned slightly. Hey, kid, can you help me get a bottle of drink out of it? Aizen was lying on the rocking chair. Although there was a fishing rod beside him, he did not lift the rod regardless of whether there was any movement. Not so much fishing, it's more suitable to bask in the sun. Brat, when I heard the tornado, it was a bit unpleasant, and my body floated in Aizen's direction. You called me the little guy. Unforgivable, my old lady is much bigger than you. Tornado gestured in front of Aizen. Aizen glanced at her. Bigger than me. In this way, the little guy is indeed somewhat inappropriate. Hey, didn't you expect Tornado to be hundreds of years old? Lem said with a little surprise not far away. Ram was also slightly shocked, looking at the appearance of the tornado. At most he was about 16 or 17 years old. However, after Tornado heard what Lem said, he was a little confused and looked at Aizen. How many hundred years old are you? Aren't you? Aizen asked back. Quote. Tornado was taken aback for a moment. If Aizen was really several hundred years old, he was only 28 years old. It seemed that there was nothing wrong with it. But, she doesn't like people calling herself that way. I don't care, even if you are older than me, you can't call me a little guy. Humph. Tornado folded his hands on his chest, looking disdainful. Well, what is your name? Just now Suyu didn't pay much attention to it when he introduced it. Aizen asked softly. Tornado frowned. You guy, what you said is a bit too much. Aizen disagreed, spread his hands, and continued. Speaking of which, kid, what abilities do you have? Coming again. Tornado began to emit a faint green light, which was obviously proof of her use of her superpowers. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. She originally wanted to use her own mind to give Aizen a lesson, but the next second, she was stunned because her superpowers had no effect on Aizen. What's going on? Tornado looked at Aizen in surprise. Don't mess around, destroying the ship is a taboo. Aizen smiled slightly, but it was this smile that made Tornado a little jealous. Now, Aizen, the drink you want. At this moment, Lem handed a bottle of drink towards Aizen. Thank you so much. After taking the drink, Aizen opened the lid and took a sip, then lay on the rocking chair and continued to fish. Oh, no, continue to bask in the sun. In the evening, to celebrate the joining of the new members, Lem prepared a very hearty dinner. I didn't have such a rich meal when I boarded the boat. Jiraiya said with emotion. Okay, a big man, who still cares about this? Su Yu walked out of the room and teased. Then he passed the wine in his arms to them. Now, one bottle for one person. This is a fine wine I treasure. Under normal circumstances, I don't want to drink it myself. If it weren't for celebrating the new members joining today, I wouldn't take it out. At this time, I was deeply shocked again. The captain is a bit patriarchal. Jiraiya muttered. Don't think too much, it's just a coincidence. Su Yu gave Jiraiya a blank look. Ha 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 ha. Everyone laughed, and then they drank while chatting about interesting things in their world. Looking at the wine in the glass, Tornado hesitated, considering whether to drink it. After all, her alcohol volume was not good. You don't know how to drink. Su Yu noticed the Tornado and asked. Of course it will. Tornado said falteringly. Don't force it if you don't know how to drink, this wine has a very high concentration. That's right, I have other drinks here, I think you should drink this. Senju Hashirama also kindly reminded. Diaresis the kid can't drink, it's more appropriate to drink. Wu Luki found the opportunity and took the opportunity to tease. After all, she was inexplicably overcast today. Wu Luki, who do you say is the kid? Tornado stared at Wu Luki. If it weren't for the fear of ruining the atmosphere tonight, she might have taken action. The quarrel is the quarrel, don't fight, finally have a good ship with full equipment, don't spoil me. Su Yu reminded. Here, Lem thoughtfully handed a cup of drink to Tornado. Oh, if you can't drink it, it would be a shame. I tell you, this is a good thing. Many people fall in love with it. Su Yu picked up the bottle and glanced at it, and then gulped again. Up. After hearing these words, Tornado couldn't stand it anymore. Regardless of Lee Nuo's 3721, he just picked up a bottle and drank gulped. Seeing this, everyone just smiled, and then continued to chat. After about a few minutes, suddenly, a laugh rang in their ears. Hey, gong, come again, another bottle, I can still drink. Everyone looked at the past suspiciously. At this time, the Tornado was floating in the air, holding a bottle of wine, his face flushed. I will go, no, I will just drink the fragments. Su Yu looked at the Tornado with a bad feeling. Chapter 87. Isn't it, I cut it so soon. Senju Hashirama muttered. Nonsense, I'm not drunk, I can still drink and serve wine. Tornado retorted, using his own superpowers to move the wine that hadn't been consumed on the side to him. After opening the bottle, she started drinking, and within a short while, she drank the bottle again. Ah, it's delicious. She sighed long. Everyone looked at the Tornado intently. The Tornado is all right, don't drink you, it's all fragmented. Su Yu exhorted. Tornado was completely drunk at this time, and did not hear Su Yu's words at all. Come again, come back, Su Yu frowned. The Tornado directly uses superpowers to float all the items here. Snapped. Su Yu got up quickly, trying to stun Tornado directly, but unexpectedly, he started slightly. It hurts, why are you hitting me? Tornado looked at Su Yu with a grievance. What am I? Why don't you have 590 points in your heart? Su Yu muttered inwardly. Next, Tornado also got angry and directly used superpowers to make the entire ship float. The scene began to be chaotic, and a good banquet was messed up like this. Originally, the matter could be resolved quickly, but Tornado directly took a bottle of wine and flew out of the ship. In the end, Aizen chased her back, and when she came back, she was already asleep. After Lem sent her to rest, the crowd gathered on the ship hall. Add another rule on the boat, don't let the Tornado drink, save the pieces later, and directly destroy the boat. Su Yu sighed heavily and said. Drinking is too bad, the Dragon Scroll guy has to do his best. Jiraiya said calmly. I think it would be nice to have such a competitive new member, and it can add some atmosphere to our boat. Senju Hashirama smiled slightly. Su Yu, how is the strength of Tornado? Wu Luki asked. Aren't you the first to experience his strength? I don't need to say more about whether he is strong or not. Su Yu said lightly. In the original One Punch Man, Tornado ranks second among the S-rank heroes. There is definitely no doubt in terms of strength. Come on, don't mention anything about the morning. I was really confused. Wu Luki was slightly aggrieved. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Okay, it's getting late, everyone rest early. Su Yu said, got up and left. Back in his room, he opened his property panel. Host. Su Yu. Summon. Aizen 45%, Rem 45%, Hashirama 50%, Wu Luki 25%, Jiraiya 25%, Tornado 20%. Summoning character legacy. Keto Aizen, Ghost Blood Race, Rem, Wood Style, Sage Mode, Hashirama. Summoning value. 0.80 thousandths. Bring your own ability. Evolution. Special ability. Under Fire, 1752,000, Thunder Fruit, 951 thousandths, Armament Hockey Intermediate, 1852,000, Observation Hockey, 1795 2000, Conqueror's Hockey, 1000 1000. Warehouse. None. Task. Summon 8 crew members, 6/8. This summoning value has doubled from before. Alas, it's getting harder and harder. Su Yu sighed. Then he clicked on Conqueror's Hockey. Meet evolutionary requirements, whether to evolve. Hey, Su Yu was caught off guard by the system prompt that suddenly appeared. After all, it needs materials to advance, but Conqueror's Hockey doesn't need it. Su Yu suggested that such a good thing should be more. Evolution. Ding dong, the evolution is successful. As the voice of the system fell, a new memory poured into Su Yu's mind, and a warm feeling appeared in his body. Warmth surrounds the whole body, but this feeling quickly disappears. Come and try the evolved Conqueror's Hockey. With a murmur, Su Yu began to release Conqueror's Hockey. Crack. In an instant, the decks in front of him were directly recessed. Seeing this scene, Su Yu was slightly delighted. Unexpectedly, after evolution, Conqueror's Hockey actually had substantial physical damage. In the original One Piece, there is also a person whose Conqueror's Hockey has substantial physical damage. Yes, this person, one of the 4 emperors in the future, the red-haired Shanks. However, strictly speaking, the current Su Yu Conqueror's Hockey has surpassed the future Conqueror's Hockey of Shanks in the original book. The next day, on a certain island, Marine was stationed at the base. Sengoku's injury has recovered, and after he was discharged from the hospital, he immediately returned to his job. Sengoku, I just heard Gangu say, did you take the task? Crane asked out loud. Sengoku nodded, yes. Does your body matter? You just left the hospital. Are you sure you won't rest for a few days? My injury is basically healed, and I have nothing to do when I rest. Do you have a task? Sengoku asked rhetorically. He shook his head. Together, can. As he said, Sengoku turned his gaze to Garp, who was sleeping on the table, and said, Garp, are you interested in being together? The pirate who is offering a bounty of 200 million is on the island not far from us. Come on, it's boring, you and Crane are both out on horseback, no more fun, I'm going to be an errand. Garp said without looking up. It's up to you, Crane, let's go, Sengoku said, turning to leave. On the New World waters, a small ship is slowly approaching Su Yu's ship. Finally met here, Super Dimension Pirates. Yeah, after sailing for so long, I finally found it. Chapter 88. At the same time, Su Yu's boat. A loud voice sounded. Everyone, there is movement. A small boat is approaching our boat. Wu Luki entered the boat and shouted. Everyone came out lazily, and then came to the ship fence, look around. Really leaning towards our side. Su Yu said lightly. I guess they are pirates just like us. Senju Hashirama guessed. I didn't see the pirate flag, I guess it should not be. It's hard to say, in case they are hunted by Marine, then the 2 of them are survivors. Wu Luki said calmly. It's possible. Jiraiya nodded. If it's a pirate, wouldn't the 2 of them lean on our side? Catch them up and ask to see what they want to do. Su Yu suggested from the side. After a while, Wu Luki and the others brought the 2 men up. Before Su Yu spoke, the 2 men said first. Boss Su Yu, I finally found you. Yeah, we have been looking for you on the sea for months. God has eyes, finally let us see you. Su Yu frowned slightly, a little surprised. Looking for me? Why are you looking for me? Actually, Boss Su Yu, the 2 of us want to join the Super Dimension Pirate Group. Yes, Boss Su Yu, please give us a chance. Another man continued. Join us. Su Yu couldn't help laughing when he heard the words. I thought it was here to die, but I didn't expect to want to join the Super Dimension Pirate Group. Unexpectedly, the Super Dimension Pirate Group already has fans. Please give us a chance. I'm sorry, our pirate group does not accept ordinary people. Su Yu refused. Boss Su Yu, the 2 of us are not ordinary people, and our bounty has exceeded 100 million. One of the men said. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Quote. Su Yu was speechless, and the 2 of them didn't understand what Su Yu meant. Su Yu sighed, then continued. Roger Pirates, Rock's Pirate, these 2 pirates have a much higher reputation than my pirates. It is better for you to join them than to join us. Quote. No, Boss Su Yu, we are yearning for the Super Dimension Pirates. Please accept us. After all, the 2 men kowtowed Su Yu directly. Su Yu was caught off guard by this action. Su Yu fell silent. Senior Wu Luki, Senior Aizen, Senior Lem, Senior Hashirama, Senior Ram, and these 2 seniors, please help us to talk about it. The man said, kowtow to them one after another. Stop, don't find us for this kind of thing. That's right, what we said is useless, you should ask Su Yu. Rem replied. I don't care, the decision is in Su Yu's hands. Aizen also said. It seems that there is nothing for us, Su Yu, you can solve it, we will continue playing cards. Jiraiya said, turned and left. Boss Su Yu, the eyes of the 2 men fell on Su Yu again. What are the characteristics of the 2 of you? Su Yu asked again. Features. Both of us are better than the same bounty. Quote. Strong. Su Yu looked at the two of them helplessly, as if they had some misunderstanding of the word strong. At this moment, Su Yu suddenly activated Conqueror's Haki, and a force of pressure spread rapidly from him. Crack. The railing of the ship was directly shattered by the pressure of Conqueror's Haki. Looking at them in a blink of an eye, although they were not fainted by Conqueror's Haki, their whole bodies trembled, and dense beads of sweat gathered on their faces. They swallowed hard, and one of them plucked up the courage and said, "Boss Su Yu, if I can survive 3 moves, how about you let us join?" 0. I don't need to talk to you about these boring conditions. Please go back. Su Yu turned to leave. Boss Su Yu, we can endure hardship very much. If one day there are members on board to sacrifice, the two of us will be the first. Su Yu turned his head. The people on our boat will never die. But, you say you can endure hardship? Yes, yes. The two men nodded. Can you cook? Su Yu asked. He will. Another man hurriedly pointed at the man next to him. Su Yu fell silent. In fact, he wanted to find a few helpers a long time ago. Although Remram is a maid in their world, there is no need to come here. There is no need to let the two of them do cooking and cleaning. Then go try it now, it's delicious, and you will temporarily be included in the Super Dimension Pirate Group as interns. Chapter 89. P.S. Let me explain before I start. Some people say that adding characters in this world is a bit poisonous. The author thought about it for a while and was sure it was so. After all, it is called the Super Dimension Pirate Group, and the characters in this world are indeed a bit twisted when they are added. So the author has modified it later. Su Yu's voice fell off. The two men suddenly had weird expressions and wrinkled their faces, and then tears flowed down their eyes. Yeah, they were a little overexcited. Isn't it? Su Yu was puzzled. Thank you very much Su Yu boss for giving us the opportunity. The two men said with tears and noses. Don't be happy too early. It's not clear what the result will be. Su Yu reminded. Indeed, Su Yu just gave them a chance to test, and failing to pass is another matter. Once it fails to meet Su Yu's expectations, he will refuse mercilessly. After all, there is never a shortage of capable people on his ship. Boss Su Yu, we know that no matter what the result is, the Super Dimension Pirates will always be our two admired pirates. One of the men said excitedly. Come on, it's good if you have this enlightenment. After all, Su Yu took the two of them to the kitchen. After explaining some things, he came to the hall. Looking at you, have you recruited the two of them? Lem asked. Su Yu shook his head slightly. It's still being tested. Everything depends on the results. Of course, if you have any comments, you can put it forward. I don't have any comments. As the captain, you can do it yourself. Senju Hashirama said. Me too, it doesn't matter. Me too. Agree. Even if you all said that, then proceed according to my meaning. Su Yu said lightly. Everyone nodded. After a long time, the two men walked out with several plates of cooked dishes. The appearance is average. As for whether it tastes good or not, you have to try it before you know it. Boss Su Yu, we are done, please taste it. One of the men said. Su Yu nodded, picked up the chopsticks, put a piece in his mouth, chewed it a few times, and swallowed it. Try it. Su Yu pushed these dishes over. Soon, Lem and his party all picked up and took a bite. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. How is it? I still prefer the food Lem cooks. Wu Luki said first. Similarly, it's not to say that it is difficult to make things difficult. Rem's food is far more delicious than this. Senju Hashirama said lightly. Add one more vote. Tornado also said. It's edible, it's not delicious. Aizen also put down his chopsticks. To be honest, Su Yu also feels so. If you want to compare with yourself, they are barely better, but if you want to compare with Rem, that's a little insignificant, I think. I don't need to say the result. Su Yu cast his eyes on the two men. We understand that boss Su Yu, although we can't get our wish, but we are already satisfied to see the admirer with our own eyes. The man said calmly. Su Yu nodded without saying much, and walked out, with the two men following behind. Soon, they came outside. Before parting, I will give you something. Su Yu said, putting his hands together. Boom. On the sea, a cloud of white mist appeared out of thin air. When the white mist dissipated, a ship exactly like Su Yu appeared in the eyes of everyone. This ship is sent to you, but there is no device inside. You need to find the boatmaker to install it yourself. Su Yu calmly said. Woohoo. When the two men saw Su Yu sending them a boat, they were so touched that they flattened their mouths, their noses and tears streaming out at the same time. Looking at the two of them, Su Yu frowned. Boss Su Yu, you are so kind to us too. Although I did not succeed in joining you, you will always be the person we admire most. It's all right, don't flatter. Su Yu sighed. Then we go. Su Yu nodded. The two men quickly jumped from the ship and boarded the new ship. We're leaving, boss Su Yu, take care. The two men waved. Su Yu also waved his hand, just about to turn around and go back. Lem came to Su Yu's face. What's the matter? Su Yu asked with some confusion as Lem looked at him. Lem hesitated for a few seconds before slowly speaking, is Lem making bad food? It made Su Yu want to find a new chef. Su Yu was startled slightly and looked at Lem suspiciously. And Lem looked at Su Yu with blinking eyes. Good guys, I originally wanted to make Lem and the others unnecessary to do these rough jobs, but I didn't expect to be misunderstood. Suyu smiled slightly, then reached out and touched Lem's head, and whispered, "What are you thinking? I just want you and Ram to not be rough." Lem looked at Suyu and whispered softly, "Lame and Ram are not afraid of tiredness. Anyway, they are bored on the boat. Why not do something for everyone?" Suyu was taken aback for a moment. It seemed that he was thinking too much, and there was no need for it at all. Soon after returning to the hall, Billy. Suyu cast his eyes on the phone worm curiously. This phone worm was originally presented by Roger to Suyu. 3.6 Since the gift, it has never sounded. With a hint of doubt, Suyu walked to the phone bug and connected. "Is it Suyu?" Roger asked. As the voice of the telephone worm fell, the facial features of the telephone worm changed to a face similar to Roger. "I am." Suyu replied. "Have you been free recently? I want to discuss something with you." Roger asked. "Discuss things." Suyu heard the words and already guessed what Roger was going to discuss with him. Except for locks, there is no other thing to discuss with Suyu. Chapter 90. Are you referring to locks? Suyu continued. Ha 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 ha. Roger chuckled lightly. It's Suyu who understands, and he knows when he hears it. Except for locks, I don't think you have anything else to discuss with me. Suyu said calmly. The phone worm imitated Roger's expression. From smiling, it suddenly became serious. I think the time has come. What do you think? Roger calmly said. Suyu was silent for a while. At present, the combat effectiveness of the Super Dimension Pirate Group is already very tyrannical. You think the time has come, that's it. Suyu said lightly. In the phone worm, it's not convenient to say so much. Come to the Fetus Islands. I'll be waiting for you there. Let's talk about the details when we meet. Roger said slowly. Yes, Suyu nodded. That's it for now. Roger's voice fell for 12 seconds, and the phone worm had returned to its original appearance. Obviously, Roger had hung up the phone worm. Above the hall, Suyu also summoned everyone. From now on, we have things to do. Suyu said slowly. Does the salted fish want to turn over? Lem laughed and teased. It's good to do something. I'm bored to get moldy. Me too. Since I got on the boat, my daily routine is to play cards, watch you basking in the sun, watch you fishing, eating, and sleeping. Tornado gestured with a bitter face. This time, there may be a big battle. Big battle? What? Are we going to tear down the nest of the world government? Aizen asked, who had been silent before. That's not it, but Rock's pirate. Suyu's face became serious. Rock's pirate. Is that a strong pirate group? Tornado asked. As the last person to join the super pirate group, Tornado obviously doesn't know about Rock's pirate. Rock's pirate is currently the most famous pirate group in New World. It is said to be super powerful. Lem leaned to Tornado's ear and explained in a low voice. Actually, I don't want to stretch my foot in this muddy water when Locks wants to dominate the world. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. But, he was afraid that I would threaten him and troubled me once or twice. Roger is about to make a move now. I think it's time to pull out this nail. He will come to trouble us in the future. Suyu is well organized. So, are we going to join forces with Roger? Senju Hashirama asked. Who is Roger? Tornado said again. Roger is also a well-known pirate at sea. Rem explained again. Tornado nodded seemingly. Yeah, it's better to have a helper than we come by ourselves. Suyu said lightly. The so-called can relax, who would be willing to be tired? Time quickly came to the next day. Marine headquarters. A marine battleship has landed, and Garp has just got off the ship. A marine soldier on the shore immediately spoke. Lieutenant General Garp, you have finally arrived. All the people who came to the meeting have arrived, so you are the only thing left. What meeting? Did you make a mistake? I didn't receive it at all. Garp was stunned, and Gangukong contacted him yesterday and told him to return to Marine headquarters, but he didn't tell him what meeting he was going to hold. Didn't Marshal Steelbone tell you? The marine soldier questioned. No, did something happen to New World? Is it the Roger Pirates that is doing it again, Rock's Pirate, or Super Dimension? Garp asked. I don't know anymore, I just sent you a message from the top to tell you to go back to Marshal Steel. Marine soldier said. The Gangbone guy is real, it's more than a pirate thing. Garp complained, and then hurried to where the Gangbone was. When Garp came to Gangukong, as the marine soldier said, all the people who came to the meeting were already there. However, there is only one more famous, Zephyr Black Wrist, and the others are strange faces. Of course, if Sengoku and Crane do not have a mission, then they must also come to the meeting. Garp, we have been waiting for you for a long time. Gangukong said. Garp sat in a chair and said angrily, who told you to contact me without telling me that you were in a hurry and have a meeting? If it wasn't for someone who disembarked and told me to have a meeting, I guess I'm going back to sleep. I didn't tell you yesterday, there is a reason. Gangukong explained. Well, we've been waiting for a long time, Steel Frame, just talk about it, don't waste everyone's time. Black-handed Zephyr Beast said. Steel Bone nodded, and then said, this is how things are. Yesterday we eavesdropped on a very serious matter in the waters of New World. Although there is no complete dialogue, but there are 590 key words. Suyu, Locks, discuss it, Fetus Islands. Listening to Gangukong's words, everyone present was dumbfounded. What is this? Steel, can't you just explain it a little bit more directly? I don't understand what it means to be like that. Garp yelled. It is initially speculated that this is a dialogue between the Super Dimension Pirates and Locks. They seem to be discussing something in the Fetters Islands. Although I don't know what it is, I have a bad feeling, that is, this matter is not good for our marine or the world government. It's unlikely. Last time on the island, Suyu played against Kaido and Whitebeard. I think there is a contradiction between the Super Dimension Pirates and Rock's pirate. Garp expressed his guess. It's hard to tell, you see that some pirates also often conflict, but sometimes they cooperate in some way inexplicably. Black-handed Zephyr said. Chapter 91. What Zephyr said is very reasonable. There have been conflicts before, and it doesn't mean anything. The pirates are basically enemies and friends. Gangukong said. Indeed, this kind of example has happened quite a lot. Yesterday, I was still fighting for life and death, and I joined forces the next day. Don't talk about these big things anymore, just tell me what we are going to do with steel. Garp said lightly. Everyone also nodded. Well, if this is the case, I won't talk nonsense, just talk about the main point. Regardless of whether the Super Dimension Pirates and Rock's pirate are discussing something, they must send someone to the Fetus Islands. If it is, we must block their plans. Whether it is Super Dimensional or Rock's pirate, their strength is very strong. Once if we unite, Marine will face a heavy blow. Steel Bone Kong said in a deep voice. For the current situation, the overall strength of the pirates is higher than that of Marine, but why does Marine still achieve a balanced relationship with the pirates? That's because the pirates are scattered and each seeks their own profits, while Marine as a whole, with rules and regulations. If the pirates unite, then this balance is likely to be broken. Then Steel, who do you want to send to take this task? Blackwrist Zephyr asked. Gang Gukong said without hesitation. Everyone present. Yes, with the Super Dimension Pirate group alone, our demon-slaying order didn't even have any effect on him last time. Now that the Rocks gang is added, the difficulty has increased a lot. Even if we are there to go. No, if it really fights, it will be more ill-fortuned. Blackwrist Zephyr said solemnly. As soon as the voice fell, the door of the meeting room was opened directly. Marshal Steel, new news. The Marine soldier said hurriedly. Hey, do you understand the rules? We are discussing important matters. You rush in without knocking at the door. A certain lieutenant admonished. Sorry. I asked him to report to me immediately when he has new news. Okay, let's talk about it now. What new news? Gangukong said to the Marine soldier. Yesterday you asked us to secretly increase our attention to the situation in the Fetus Islands. Just now, there was a message from the island that they found members of the Roger Pirates on the island. The Marine soldier said slowly. R.O. Roger Pirates. Gang Ji Kong's face became more solemn when he heard the name, and the meeting room fell silent because of the Marine soldier's report. Gang Gukong slowly sat on the stool, holding his hands together on the table. The surrounding air seemed to freeze. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The matter seems to be more serious than we thought. Maybe it's not just the Super Dimension Pirates and Rock's pirate that they are going to discuss in the Fetus Islands. It's 3. Gangukong said stiffly. They are all pirate giants. If the three of them really work together, things will really get bad. Blackwrist Zephyr said coldly. I really didn't expect this to happen. Garp also murmured. It's fine for these pirates to do things on their own, and now they come to a group to do things. A certain lieutenant general also said cursingly. It's useless to complain. It seems that Marine has to step up efforts to catch those signs of Marine. If it was stopped earlier, it is estimated that such problems would not arise. Okay, don't say anything. Everyone immediately prepared and set off for the Fetus Islands in half an hour. They felt that they could not be united, thus breaking the balance between Marine and the pirates. After a few minutes, the news that the Super Dimension Pirates, Roger Pirates, and Rock's Pirate will join forces arrived, the Holy Land Mary Geois. The most deadly thing is that Temo's spread becomes more and more serious. Let 5 elders think that Roger, Suyu, and Locks will join forces to attack the Holy Land Mary Geois. Summoning us in such a hurry, Marine is in trouble again. As soon as the man with long beard entered the door, he asked the man standing at the window. While speaking, the other 3 also arrived. Everyone is here, so I'll just say it straight. It's not that Marine is in trouble again, but I guess we are all in trouble. The man said in a deep voice. What do you say? The New World Big Three have joined forces, and the goal is like the Holy Land Mary Geois. They are preparing to discuss a battle plan in the Fetters Islands. The man said coldly. When everyone heard it, their expressions changed. 3 extremely vicious pirate groups joined forces. This is indeed a bit troublesome. What is Gang Ji Kong doing now? The long-bearded man asked. Diaresis, they are rushing to the Fetus Islands. Before the other 2 pirate groups arrive, stop them from discussing plans. The man replied. Marine's recent performance is really too disappointing. It doesn't matter if the Demon Slayer has not caused any damage to the Super Dimension Pirates, but it has caused a huge loss to himself. If it messes up this time, we have to think of a way. These pirates, it seems that we need to intensify sanctions, especially the pirates with D. This kind of guy should be cleaned up from the beginning. Another man said coldly. I agree with your opinion. New World, on the route to the Fetus Islands. Regarding Marine's guess, Suyu and the others didn't know at all. He wanted to discuss with Roger a plan to deal with Locke's village. Who can Marine want the 5 elders guys to open their brains, directly thinking that Locke, Lee knew how Roger, and Suyu will join forces to attack their nest. However, things have really become more and more interesting, because Locke's eyeliner also traced Suyu's news. Change the destination. The latest destination is the Fetus Islands. Locks yelled. Hey, Captain Locks, what's the matter? Aren't we trying to rob the franchise of the world government? We suddenly changed our minds. Longbread asked. I just received the news and found the trail of Suyu and the others. They are heading to the Fetus Islands. The corner of Locke's mouth rose slightly. Yes, he wants to take this opportunity to destroy Suyu's super-dimensional pirate group directly. Chapter 92. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Boss Locks, are you planning to take action against the Super Dimension Pirates? Golden Lion asked. It's a mere rookie pirate group, is it a little too fussy if we do this? The man on the side said. Making a fuss, I don't think it is necessary. The last time Edward and Kaido could not eliminate them together, this is enough to prove that they are not weak. Another man continued. Whitebeard and Kaido were silent, watching them speak quietly. Rock's pirate is basically arrogant. It is clear that Suyu's strengths are currently only Kaido and Whitebeard. Others are basically just judged by Marine's bounty and newspapers. Don't underestimate this pirate group who came to New World not long ago. Their potential is no smaller than Roger, even me. His growth is indeed beyond my imagination. Locks reminded everyone present. With such an evaluation from Locks, some people put away their disdain. I see, Captain Locks. It seems that this time will be a very passionate battle. Regardless of their strength, we will win in the end, because this era is named Locks. Locks shouted. 593. As soon as the voice fell, everyone was in high spirits and shouted. Whitebeard frowned slightly, with Locks on one side and Suyu on the other. He was familiar with both. Now it seemed that war was about to go, and he was a little embarrassed. This day still comes. Muttering softly, Whitebeard sighed heavily. A few days later, Suyu and his party had arrived in the Fetus Islands. As soon as all the members got off the ship, a group of Marines suddenly appeared on the coast of the island. It seems that our luck is a little bit good. Suyu smiled bitterly. It shouldn't be. It just so happened that it didn't show up early or late. When we get off the boat, this group of Marines will come out. Wu Luki felt that this matter was a little strange. Could it be the guy named Roger who joined forces with Marine? He told us to come over and try to kill us all. Tornado opened his head. Not so. Senju Hashirama retorted. Don't think too much. This probability is almost zero, and there is no contradiction between us and Roger. The appearance of Marine should be just a coincidence. Suyu explained. Suyu has never seen the leader of Marine this time, so preliminary guess is that the strength will not be too strong. Suyu, I advise you to take your crew and leave the Fetus Islands as soon as possible. Lieutenant General Marine also said in a deep voice. The purpose of what they did was simple, to prevent Suyu and the others from meeting Roger. Of course, if Marine learns that Suyu and Roger are discussing a plan to deal with Locks, they will not stop it, but they will also agree. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. After all, if Suyu and Roger deal with Locks, no matter which side wins, Marine will be the biggest winner. It's a pity that Marine currently misunderstands that Roger, Suyu, and Locks are teaming up to deal with the world government. Oh, why? Suyu asked with a slightly raised mouth. Marshal Steele is leading many Marine masters to the Fetus Islands. If you land on this island, I am afraid you will not be so easy to leave. Sean also said slowly. It sounds good for Suyu, but it is actually to scare Suyu not to go to the island. In this way, he successfully prevented Suyu from meeting Roger. However, Sean is also making some calculations, Suyu really doesn't know. Then I want to thank you well. I have revealed such a big news to me. Suyu smiled slightly. I am different from your other Marines. I don't like to fight and kill. After all, regardless of Marine or pirates, it is a life. You can leave. Yamaya's tone is different, but in fact it is because he knows that he can't match Suyu at all, so he said so. I'm not interested in you. Give way, don't follow us. Suyu said calmly. But when Suyu everyone just took a step. Kaka. Some Marines pointed their spears at Suyu and then one after another. Swipe. Some Marines drew their long sword. I won't let you land on this island. Sean also said in a deep voice. You don't have the ability to stop us. As soon as the voice fell, Suyu immediately released Conqueror's Haki, and a wave of pressure instantly enveloped the group of Marines. Snapped. What's even more outrageous is that some of the rocks behind Marine were directly physically damaged by this coercive force. In an instant, most of the Marines all lay on the ground. The rest, although they didn't fall down, there were dense beads of sweat on their faces. This is Conqueror's Haki. Yama also frowned. The Marine soldiers in the back have also fought with the mountain for many years, so naturally they also know Haki. This guy is terrible. Conqueror's Haki is better than anyone we have ever met. Yeah, I can actually raise Conqueror's Haki to this level. This guy must be as strong as a monster. No. It's just that, you look back at the rock. As the voice fell, the Marines all turned around and took a glance. Even, causing substantial physical damage to the rock. A Marine said incredulously. Impossible, how could Conqueror's Haki cause substantial physical damage to the rock? One of the less experienced Marine soldiers retorted. I saw it with my own eyes, that guy's Conqueror's Haki is strong enough to have substantial physical damage. Hearing these words, Sean's spirit became even more tense. He now has two options, one is to let Su Yu pass, and the other is to prevent Su Yu from passing. Moreover, it seems to be too late now, even if Su Yu is allowed to pass, he will not necessarily let him go. After a few seconds of silence, Sean finally made a decision and shouted, "Give me up." Boom. After receiving the order, some Marine soldiers fired instantly. The bullet rushed towards Su Yu at a very fast speed. However, at this moment, something unexpected happened. Time seemed to freeze, and the bullet stayed in midair. Just like this attack, do you still want to make trouble? The tornado floated to Su Yu's side. Chapter 93. Marine, who shot the gun, saw this scene, his face fuse. Boom. The bullet fired from the muzzle again, heading towards the tornado. With a wave of the tornado, all the bullets instantly covered a faint green light, and immediately followed, staying directly in the air. Give it back to you. Tornado waved his hand again, and all the bullets floating in the air suddenly turned around, and then hit Marine. Shoo. Upon seeing this, Marine dodged quickly, some of which were not dodged in time, and were directly pierced by bullets. Boom. Sean also drew a long sword and swung it a few times, blocking the flying bullets. Go. Marine standing behind the mountain, holding a long sword, slashed towards the tornado. Seeing this scene, the look on Tornado's face did not change at all, but she waved her hand again, and she was covered with a faint green light instantly toward Marine who rushed past her. Then Marine directly floated. What's going on? How did we fly? As that guy's devil fruit ability. Damn, the body is completely out of control. Boom. A sound. Marine hit the ground directly, followed closely, flew up again, rose to a certain height, and then fell again. Boom. There was another sound. In the end, the tornado threw them directly into the sea. It didn't take a while. What used to be a group of Marines, but now only Shanya and a few Marine soldiers armed with guns remain. Damn it, the difference in strength is so great that I can't fight them at all. Yeah, let alone hurt them, we don't even have a chance to get close to them. There are so many of us who can't handle one, let alone so many. The Marine soldier said, glanced at Su Yu, and then sighed heavily. Lieutenant General Yamaya, what should I do? It's not an opponent at all. A Marine soldier asked with a slight trembling. Shan Ya's face is very ugly now, what should I do? He didn't know what to do. The situation may change if the steel bones suddenly appear, but this is an impossible thing. What else can I do? I can only fight with them. Sean also waved the long sword in his hand, and ran towards the tornado. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Suddenly, at this moment, a crescent-shaped blade of light directly crossed the tornado and approached the mountain. Yamaya frowned slightly, his long sword covered armament Haki, and then quickly defended. Although Shanya successfully blocked the light blade, he was rushed back dozens of steps by the impact. Tornado turned his head, a little unhappy. Wu Luki, why are you doing it? I can solve them by myself. Wu Luki spread out his hands and said lightly, I know. The tornado floated to Wu Luki's side, hands on hips, angrily said, then why are you still shooting? Why don't you hurry up, waste our time? Wu Luki put on a look that blames me. Okay, stop arguing between you two, that guy ran away. Su Yu sighed. As Su Yu's voice fell, Tornado turned his head back, and as expected, Sean also led the Marine soldiers who had not fallen, and ran away. I'll go after it, Wu Luki said. Su Yu immediately retorted. What to chase after? The purpose of our coming here is not to hunt down Marine, but to discuss things with Roger. Okay, Wu Luki nodded without saying much. Humph. Tornado glanced at Wu Luki, then floated to Su Yu's face and said, Su Yu, look, that guy is always against me. You two will stop for a while. Su Yu sighed, then took out the phone bug and dialed. Roger, we already have the fetus islands. The speed is faster than I expected. Roger smiled, and then continued. In this way, you go straight into the town, and I will let someone pick you up. By the way, I don't know what's going on. There are a lot more Marines on this island these days. Please pay attention. Roger reminded Su Yu after speaking. Needless to say, I was surrounded by Marine as soon as I disembarked. Hey, are you so lucky? Roger laughed. Don't mention it, that's it for now. Su Yu said and hung up the phone worm. In the sea, dozens of Marine warships are sailing rapidly. Find flowers. What are you talking about? Su Yu and the others have arrived at the fetus islands. Gengukong said solemnly. Yes, Marshal Steelbone, you can't blame us, we can't stop them at all, and the Super Dimension Pirate Group seems to have recruited a new partner, she is also very strong. Sean also explained. You mean the guy with long white hair? Gengukong asked. No, it seems to be a woman about 17 or 18 with green curly hair. Sean Yahui reported. Green curly hair. Steelbone paused, he had indeed never seen this person. How long will it take for you to reach the fetus islands? I guess it won't be long before Rock's pirate will resist. Sean also said lightly. It will take a few hours at the earliest. Don't act, pay close attention to them. Locks hasn't arrived yet. I believe they will not negotiate so quickly. Gangu Kong said slowly. Okay, Marshal Steelbone, we know. Hanging up the phone worm, Gangu Kong's face was serious. Unexpectedly, Su Yu and the others arrived at the Fetus Islands earlier than us. Garp suddenly said. Yes. The steel frame sighed heavily, and then continued. Maybe, Locks has been on the island, and we are still sailing. Damn it. Speaking of the back, Gang Ji Kong directly hammered the ship fence. I just heard you say that there is a newcomer in the Super Dimension Pirate group. At this time, the black-wrist Zephyr on the side also said. Gang Ji Kong nodded. Yes, the female lead with green curly hair, according to Shan Yi, is also very strong. Although the Super Dimension Pirate group is small in number, their quality is far higher than Locks and Roger Pirate group. Garp nodded. He agreed with this point too much. Every member of the Super Dimension Pirate group is too unusual. Before they appeared, we didn't know anything about them. Note that it's not an individual. It's everyone, including Su Yu. Chapter 94. Garp, look at what you said. If we didn't find it, it doesn't mean it didn't. According to what you said, did those guys appear out of thin air? Black-handed Zephyr chuckled lightly. However, if Su Yu heard this on the scene, he would really say, sorry, my crew really appeared out of thin air. However, only the Super Dimension Pirates knows this secret, so it is normal for the Marines to be unable to investigate it. Ha ha ha, although I don't like what you said so much, it is indeed a fact. Garp grinned. Don't laugh Garp, I'm very depressed right now. Gangu Kong frowned and sighed. Indeed, Gangu Kong was under great pressure right now. After the last time the demon-slaying order failed, he was interviewed by 5 elders for a day. If he still messed up this time, he couldn't imagine the consequences. Now he is really in a dilemma. There is pressure from the world government, and pressure from the pirates. He is almost out of breath now. Steel, don't keep your face dull, things won't change because of our mood. If this is the case, it's better to look at the open points. Garp said solemnly. I know, but I can't be like you. Gangu Kong replied. Billy Billy, Billy Billy. At this moment, the hollow telephone worm rang. Gangu Kong glanced at the phone worm, and began to pray in his heart, and don't spread any bad news for Marine. I am Gangbone Kong, please speak. Well, Marshal Steelbone, we found Locks, ships in the sea. About an hour or so, they are about to land on the Fetus Islands. The telephone worm rang an anxious voice. Gangu Kong's complexion was stiff. Good fellow, he just did what he didn't want to come. Stop, you must not let Locks land on the island. Gangu Kong shouted angrily. Marshal Steelbone, you know, how can we bother with our strength? Shut up, even if you block it with your body, you still have to support me until we reach the Fetus Islands. The more Gangu Kong said, the more excited his emotions became. The Marine on the other side was so frightened by the empty tone of steel that he didn't dare to breathe. Okay, Marshal Steelbone, a bunch of trash. The steel frame was so angry that even the phone bug was thrown into the sea. Black-wrist Zephyr and Garp watched from the side without making a sound. Obviously, whoever makes a sound at this time will be nagged. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. At the same time, Su Yu was there. Under the leadership of Roger's members, they came to an empty forest. Most of Roger's members are roasting delicious meat, and not far from these foods, there are a lot of good wines. Obviously, these are all Roger prepared to entertain Su Yu. Seeing Su Yu's arrival, Roger smiled and got up, then spoke. I said, it doesn't take long for us to meet again. Su Yu smiled when he heard the words. Oh, it's been a while, you have a few more members. Roger glanced at the tornado and Jiraiya, and said. I'm afraid you can't compare it to you. Look at you, at least half more than when we first met. Su Yu teased. Ha 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 ha, Roger laughed. Come, sit down. With that, he said to them. You can do it yourself, don't be polite, just treat it as returning to your pirate group. Everyone nodded. Roger took a few cans of fine wine not far away, came to Su Yu, and said, come on, let's have a drink today, plan this, and talk later. I think it's better to talk about things first, for fear of accidents. When we were fighting Marine just now, the Marine Lieutenant General said that the guy Gangu Kong, leading a group of Marine Masters should also come here. Su Yu reminded one sentence. Steel Hollow. Su Yu nodded. What did that guy come to this island for? Couldn't it be, to catch you? Roger guessed. Fart, I think they are here to catch you. Those Marines seem to be afraid that we will join forces and let us leave this island. Su Yu retorted. Gangu Kong guy really has a headache, but the problem is not big, we joined hands. Roger smiled. Don't think about it, I don't care if I chase you. Su Yu spread his hands and reminded. Ha 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 ha, Roger laughed. Others also had a very good chat with the other members of the Roger Pirates. Some time ago, you really scared me. The world government issued an order to kill demons against you. I didn't expect you to have no loss at all. Marine suffered a serious loss. I remember there was another piece of news that Gangu Kong went to the Holy Land Mary Geoise the next day, and promoted it to the outside world, saying it was negotiating to deal with pirates. But everyone who understands, the guy Gangu Kong must have been invited to have tea, ha 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 ha. Speaking of the back, Roger couldn't help but laugh. Good luck, the sea environment was very bad at that time, I wish us a helping hand. Su Yu explained. Just then, Lem came to Su Yu's side. Su Yu, Dragon Roll is drinking again, so I can't persuade you. Lame whispered. What? That guy drank again. Su Yu immediately got up when he heard it. What's up? Who is the tornado? Roger asked curiously. Our new member, the one with green curly hair. Su Yu explained. Roger glanced over, and then said lightly, it's a little bit young at 3.6, but it's a small problem. It's hard to have a good day. Just let them drink as much as they want, Su Yu. It's not a matter of young age. What's that? Drink a lot. I'm afraid I don't have enough wine. Don't worry, I can manage enough. Roger said with a smile. It's not, but the tornado drink is too bad. Drinking too much will ruin the image. Lem said implicitly. We are all friends, we don't care about this. Su Yu looked not far away. Hashirama and the others were persuading, and Roger members were booing to make tornado drink more. Seeing that he couldn't help, Su Yu smiled slightly. You don't even care anymore, what else can I say? Chapter 95. Having said that, Su Yu's gaze fell on Lem's body. If you can't persuade, you don't have to persuade, let Hashirama do what they should do. Okay, then I'm leaving first, you guys continue to talk about things. Lem nodded, then turned to leave, and came to Tornado. Su Yu said, you don't have to persuade you if you can't help it, just do what you should do. Their captain doesn't care, Rem said toward Senju Hashirama. Su Yu is really a good person. Tornado was moved. Since she got on the boat for the banquet on the first day, Su Yu has not allowed her to drink, and she has not told her exactly why. Of course, after the fragment that day, she didn't remember anything, and thought she was simply drunk. I'll just say, what does it matter? Come on, everyone continued to drink. One of the women took a full can of wine and handed it to Dragon Roll. Tornado was not polite, he just lifted it up, and drank gulped after opening the lid. What? Tornado sighed heavily. After drinking this thing, my old lady fell in love with it completely. Don't worry, there is too much wine, but it is not enough. We still have it on the boat. After drinking the boat, we can go to town to buy it. It takes 12 minutes to say. The woman said with a smile. Senju Hashirama and the others looked at the tornado, and changed from persuasion at the beginning to crazy eating barbecue. It looks a bit like a hungry ghost reborn, grabbing the barbecue just stuffing it into his mouth. Drinking and eating barbecue so that there is a soul, Rayleigh said with a smile on the side. I'll go, you guys, it feels like a hungry ghost reborn, ha 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 ha. Copper Jabba. Honestly, did your captain abuse you? Another pirate teased. Guru, Jiraiya swallowed, choking a little, and then said after a few breaths, it's not true, you guys should eat too, I'm afraid it will be gone later. I see, it must be because the food on your boat was not good. It was difficult to eat meat last time, right? Roger member continued to tease. No, the food on our boat is still very good. Senju Hashirama explained. Ha 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 ha, seeing Senju Hashirama and them like this, Roger's pirate group laughed from ear to ear. Well, now we're going to discuss locks. Roger said calmly. Su Yu nodded, looking at the meat stuffed in his mouth. I think your Super Dimension pirate group, combined with the strength of my Roger pirate group, should be able to compete with Rock's pirate. If we don't start early, Rock's pirate strength will continue to increase. In other words, the longer time passes, our winning percentage will continue to decline. Su Yu continued nodding, vaguely. Since the last demon killing order incident, I can assure you that Locks has taken it seriously, and if no surprises, they will soon attack and destroy you, thereby eliminating these uncertain factors. Once your pirate group falls, I must be his next target. Rox has great ambitions, and you should know it too. Roger analyzed slowly. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Su Yu continued nodding. Seeing Su Yu who was still suffocating meat, Roger was surprised. How long have you not eaten meat? Let's finish talking first. I'm afraid there is not enough time. You mean Gangbone Kong? Don't worry, I'm not sure if that guy will come. What if Marine is trying to scare you? Roger explained. That's not because of Marine. That is, as soon as Roger's voice fell, many members, as well as the wine, and the barbecue were covered with a layer of green light, and then slowly floated with the tornado. Now, it's because of this. Su Yu patted his stomach and was 70% full, then reached out in the air and took a can of floating wine. Roger saw this scene, his expression fusion. What's the matter? The tornado drink is poor. If you drink too much, you will go crazy. In fact, it is not terrible to go crazy. The terrible thing is her ability. Su Yu said, taking a big sip. Why didn't you say it earlier? I said it. Good guy, it's no wonder you keep stuffing meat in your mouth like a hungry ghost. Roger shouted, taking advantage of this opportunity, quickly grabbed the floating barbecue and stuffed it into his mouth. The tornado is over there. Come on, everyone drink together. Tornado exclaimed excitedly. What's going on with this guy? Rayleigh save me, my body didn't know what was going on, I flew uncontrollably. Fragments. As this guy's devil fruit ability. Copper Jabba frowned. I just wanted to inquire about Aizen and the others, but found that Aizen and the others had already gone to the other side, with a piece of meat in one hand and a can of wine in the other. While eating, he looked at them. Hey, what's the matter with your partner? Rayleigh asked. Drunk, she will be crazy for a while. Wu Luki shouted. Crazy for a while, yes, I told you earlier, don't drink her wine. Jiraiya replied. At the same time, food, wine, and some people gathered together and spun. This guy, I just drank a little alcohol, but I haven't eaten a piece of meat yet. Super dimensional guys, thief spirits, they just ate like hungry ghosts, so I should have found something abnormal. There is no way, now I'm still thinking about how to solve this problem. Rayleigh sighed and turned his eyes to Roger, but when he saw Roger, his face was even more ugly. Roger is holding a large pile of meat and is gorging it. Good guy, we don't know the feelings. I was just chatting and didn't eat a bite of meat. Copper Jabba sighed. 593. Su Yu, what's the matter? Rayleigh asked. It's okay, she won't make trouble for a while, at most there will be no food. Su Yu said lightly. Su Yu has said so, let her make a fuss for a while. Roger also said. I'll get some meat back. When I get it on the ground, it will be dirty. Rayleigh said, looking at the barbecue floating in the air. Come on, drink together. Tornado was flushed with a smile, although the smile was a little sweet, but Rayleigh and the others always had a bad premonition. Why do you both ignore me and drink together? Tornado muttered to himself naturally. Okay, little guy, go to bed quickly when you get drunk. Rayleigh tried to persuade Tornado with words. The tornado slowly dropped a bit, and looked at Rayleigh, small man. I hate this name. As soon as the voice fell, above the sky, a small meteorite was descending rapidly when it reached a certain height. There was a roar of cutting through the air. Everyone looked up, their faces suddenly stiff. This shouldn't be this guy. Rayleigh vaguely said halfway, and then suddenly shouted. Everyone, run away, the meteorite is here. Roger was also dumbfounded and looked at Su Yu. Is this what you said? Chapter 96. Su Yu also looked at the falling meteorite and said with an awkward smile. I said this time was an accident, do you believe it? Quote. Roger was speechless and pulled out the long sword from his waist. Armament Hockey wrapped it up in an instant, and then saw Roger wave a few times. Brush. Several light blades rushed towards the meteorite at a very fast speed. In midair, they collided. Boom. A sound. The meteorite was directly decomposed and fell into countless rubble. Dara. In an instant, the sky was like a stone rain, and then Joe was instantly shrouded in smoke and dust. At the same time, Su Yu also shot at this time. This time he made a heavy shot and successfully stunned Tornado. The superpower was released, and the things floating in the air also fell. Rem, take the dragon back to rest. Su Yu shouted. I heard it. Rem replied not far away. Oh, these barbecues can't be eaten at all. It's a pity that they are all covered with thick dust. Rayleigh looked at the barbecue in his hand and sighed. A lot of wine was also broken by falling stones. Copper Jabba also said. That guy is terrible. I knew I would stop drinking her and commit sin. The woman who was drinking wine frowned. I thought I was dead just now. The man who had just floated in the air wiped the sweat from his face. Everyone, I'm really sorry for causing you such a big trouble. Su Yu smiled bitterly. Roger slowly came to Su Yu's side, and then said, the person on your boat doesn't have anything to pay attention to yet. Upon hearing this, Su Yu couldn't help laughing. Gone. That's it, clean up again, change to another place and continue. Roger asked his crew. Okay. Soon everyone started to get busy. For about an hour, the barbecue has been remade, and the wine has been repurchased. Everyone resumed talking and laughing, but this time, it was Roger's members who started to devour the barbecue. You look like a hungry ghost reborn. Wu Luki teased. Rayleigh, Copper Jabba, and many other members who were eating meat laughed on the spot. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. What do you think of my plan? Roger asked. Well, it's good, just do what you said. Su Yu nodded. Just as Su Yu's voice fell, a huge shadow instantly enveloped the forest. Su Yu and Roger raised their heads slightly in surprise, and a huge ship appeared in their sight. Everyone is ready to fight. Roger shouted. Hearing this, everyone leaned towards Su Yu and Roger. This is, it seems that we don't need to look for it, he is here. Su Yu said coldly. Yes, this ship is really a Rocks pirate ship. The huge ship began to lower its height, and within a short while, people on the ship began to jump off one after another. Locks, Golden Lion, Whitebeard, Kaido, Charlotte Linlin, Longbread, etc. The scenes that appear in this forest today are undoubtedly the representative of this horrendous era in Marine's eyes. Roger, why are you guys here? Locks glanced at Roger and Su Yu. Su Yu can clearly feel that just by his aura, the man in front of him is very powerful. Roger smiled. You are all here. Is it weird for me to be here? Ha 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 ha. Locks laughed grimly, and continued. It doesn't matter what this kind of thing is. How is it? Roger, Su Yu, are you interested in joining us Rocks Pirate? Let's work together in this world. Before starting, Locks also planned to use words to subdue Roger and Su Yu. Locks, I've said it many times, I'm not interested in symmetrical world. If the pirates can't do what they want, what's the point? Roger retorted. What about you? Locks cast his gaze on Su Yu. Su Yu raised his mouth slightly, and said, sorry, I am not interested in the world of symmetry. Just like Roger, I want to do what I want to do. Okay, well said. Locks sneered, then cast his eyes on Su Yu and the people behind Roger. If any of you want to join my Locks pirate group, I will not refuse to come, and I can guarantee your safety. Locks, what are you kidding? Do you think a few words can make us betray? Rayleigh retorted. That's right, I tell you, this is simply impossible. Hearing that, Lox did not care too much, after all, these were also in his expectation. Quote. Diaresis, it would save me a lot of effort if they were all there. Today, let your names be erased from New World. Brothers, it's time to work. Lox said in a deep voice. As Lox's voice fell, Golden Lion floated in the air, and then shouted, Lion Majesty, Earth coiling. After all, the surrounding ground directly lifted up and turned into the shape of multiple lion heads, and then rushed towards Suyu and the others like a tide. The corners of Aizen's mouth rose slightly, disdainfully watching the tide-like mud pouring toward him. I saw his mouth move slightly, spit out a few words. The 81 of Bakuto splitting void. Boom. Immediately, there was a violent explosion where Suyu was standing, and smoke and dust mixed with sand and spread out. Thick smoke and dust also followed. The concentration of smoke and dust slowly became clear over time. This time, it should have solved a lot. The golden lion floating in the air muttered Li Nuo Jiao. However, when he cast his gaze down, he was immediately stunned, not to mention how much he solved, not even one injured. As the attack still weak, Yang. Suddenly behind the golden lion, a soft voice came. Golden Lion was stunned and turned his head. A tall man with short brown hair and brown eyes appeared in his field of vision. When he saw Aizen could also float in the air, he was a little surprised. Why can this guy float up? Is it possible that his devil fruit ability is similar to mine? Golden Lion muttered inwardly. Who are you? Golden Lion asked Aizen. Me, you don't deserve to know. Chapter 97. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Jahahaha. Golden Lion laughed loudly. You are not my age, but you are more arrogant than me. I think you are quite congenial with me and can't bear to kill you, so come to Rock's Pirate. I believe Captain Lox will give you a cadre. Aizen raised the corners of his mouth slightly when he heard the words, looking at Golden Lion with disdain. Compared to dominating the world, Aizen is more interested in Suyu's ability, and he feels that Suyu possesses an ability similar to Hogyoku. However, that thing is even countless times more powerful than Hogyoku. Yes, that thing is Suyu's cheat, the system. However, even though Aizen knows that there is such a thing, he doesn't know what it is called. However, his instinct tells him that Suyu may lose to himself at the moment, but that thing can make him wipe out in an instant. Seeing Aizen not speaking, Golden Lion continued. I'm thinking, Rox is better than your current captain in any aspect. The only pirate group that can exert your abilities is Rock's Pirate. This world lives your cognitive frame here, that's why you are so ignorant. The only thing I can admit is 597 Suyu. I don't even look at your rocks at all. Aizen said coldly. Jahahaha. Golden Lion laughed again, and soon the expression on his face changed. I have been talking to you for so long, and it is considered nonsense. Huh. The Golden Lion drew out the two famous swords, Sakura-ten and Muku, and then quickly swung them, and suddenly one after another sword chi approached Aizen. Aizen's figure began to change, easily dodged the attack. In the next second, it disappeared into Golden Lion's sight. What about people? Seeing this scene, Golden Lion quickly scanned the surroundings and captured Aizen's location. But at this moment, he instantly felt his head pressed by something, and then fell directly. Boom. A sound. It hit the ground directly, the surrounding ground collapsed directly, and a layer of smoke rose rapidly. Aizen flew up quickly and left the ground. Puff. Golden Lion's throat was sweet, and he directly vomited a big mouthful of blood. This ordinary blow was far more powerful than Golden Lion had expected. You fellow angered me thoroughly. Golden Lion quickly activated its lion fruit power, and the soil on the ground instantly rolled up, forming a huge lion head. The lion rose to the sky, roared, opened a huge mouth, and swallowed Aizen floating in the air. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It's not that Aizen can't dodge, but he thinks that this kind of attack doesn't need to dodge at all. Boom. At this moment, in the air, a powerful force directly exploded the mud lion head. Not to mention that this blow caused Aizen to attack, and even his clothes were not soiled. The Golden Lion standing on the ground was dumbfounded. Damn, what the hell is this guy? With that, Golden Lion floated up quickly and attacked Aizen again. The result was obvious, except for the first attack. Later, he was defending. In the end, he was directly attacked, and he didn't even have the ability to fight back. As for Suyu, he teamed up with Roger to deal with Lox. Rayleigh fights Charlotte Linlin and Senju Hashirama fights Whitebeard. Wu Luki and Copper Jabba deal with Kaido. Etc., etc. Within a few minutes of the battle, there were pits and pits around, the ground vibrated, and the sound of explosions continued. According to this continuous battle, this island, it is estimated that it will not last an hour, and it will sink into the sea completely. Billy. Who? Garp connected to the phone worm and asked suspiciously. I am Lieutenant General Yamaya. You are that kid, what's the matter? I'm looking for Marshal Steelbone. There is an emergency report. Sean also said anxiously. The guy with steel bones is right next to me, you can just talk about it. Garp calmly said. Rock's pirate has landed on the island, and, don't you know why? There is a fight. Sean also reported all the information he had on the island, 150 and 110. Huh, it's a fight. What the hell is this? Steelbone also couldn't figure it out. Maybe it was a matter of discussing the plan, and there was a fork, so it was a big fight. As he said, Garp laughed. We don't rule out this possibility, but it's also possible that they are just competing. Zephyr, the black wrist, offered his opinion on the side. What you said makes sense. What the hell are these guys going to do? Gengukong cursed. Marshal Steelbone, when will you be able to land on the island? Shanya's voice rang again from the phone worm. Almost. We can already see the island. That's great. A few minutes later. Boom. Worthy of being the maritime hegemon in the original book, Lox is really strong. In the face of Roger and Su Yu's combination, Lox can still remain unfavorable. However, the Golden Lion was miserable. He was completely crushed by Aizen. It didn't take long for him to fight, and he was already wounded all over. What kind of monster is you guy? Golden Lion frowned and looked at Aizen floating in the air. Monster. I can't talk about it, I'm just a member of the Super Dimension Pirate Group. Aizen said lightly. Golden Lion's face was very ugly. He glanced around and saw Kaido not far away, hitting back and forth. Damn it, why are you playing so enjoyable? Only I am being beaten. He thought to himself inwardly. Suddenly, he had a plan to move the target of the monster Aizen from himself to Kaido. After the decision, he floated up quickly and ran in Kaido's direction. Want to run? Do you think you can run? Chapter 98. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. After all, Aizen disappeared instantly. In a blink of an eye, he came directly behind the Golden Lion. Armament Haki instantly covered Aizen's hand, and then quickly punched the Golden Lion's back. Boom. Golden Lion spit out blood again, and the whole person was knocked away and rushed towards Kaido's direction. At the same time, Wu Luki and Kaido, who were fighting, sensed something flying over, and quickly separated. Call out. Boom. On the sides of the two of them, thick smoke rose quickly. Who flew over? Wu Luki gazed at the dense smoke and muttered. That guy is Shiki from Rock's Pirate. Copper Jabba, who was standing not far away, replied. Shiki. Oh, when I remember, I said how familiar, but I can't remember who it is. Wu Luki nodded and said. Although he has not met before, he has seen Golden Lion many times on the wanted order before, so it is normal to have some influence. Kaido looked at the smoke and dust that gradually became clear. Not only was he not worried, but he was a little happy in his heart. Shiki, you also have today. Kaido smiled from ear to ear. Although Golden Lion heard Kaido mocking himself, he still lay in the big pit and pretended to be dead. Because he knew that if he got up now, Aizen would definitely attack him again. However, if he doesn't get up anymore, Aizen's goal will be transferred to Kaido. Just laugh, wait until I see if you can laugh out loud. Golden Lion said inwardly. Aizen slowly drifted to the side of Wu Luki, and then said, don't say it, armament Haki in this world is pretty good. I also think that I can attack and defend. Since I learned armament Haki and observation Haki, my strength has improved a lot. Wu Luki nodded, agreeing with what Aizen said. Shiki guy, did you solve it? Copper Jabba walked over and asked Aizen. Aizen cast his gaze on the big pit and calmly said, no, even though that guy can't beat me, he is still capable in terms of strength, so he won't faint. I'll go and take a look. After saying this, Copper Jabba jumped and moved in the direction of the Golden Lion. Copper Jabba has just left for a while. Suddenly, at this moment, a shadow flicked across the sky. Aizen and Wu Luki raised their heads, and Kaido descended from the sky. You guys, did you ignore me directly? Kaido shouted angrily. Armament Haki directly covered both hands, and then hit Aizen with a punch. Aizen moved quickly, covering Armament Haki with his hands, and then punched. Boom. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The two fists collided, and the ground Aizen stepped on was directly shattered by the impact, cracking a spider web-shaped crack. Zitsa. Around the fist, black light began to flash. Drink. Kaido roared again, his strength increased a lot. The ground that Aizen stepped on collapsed a second time. Looking at the hideous Kaido, the corners of Aizen's mouth rose slightly. That's it for you. After all, Aizen's fist began to exert a little force. There was a bang. A powerful force directly bounced Kaido away. Kaido lost his balance, first rotated a few times in the air, then fell to the ground, rolled dozens of times, and then barely stopped. Just as Wu Luki wanted to chase, Aizen said, leave him to me. You go help others. Okay. Wu Luki spread out his hands, and then left slowly. Aizen quickly pursued Kaido. On the other hand, after knowing Aizen's transfer target, Golden Lion quickly stood up. Copper Jabba was taken aback for a moment, and then calmly said, it looks like Aizen said it is really unlikely to pass out. Passed out. Jahahaha. What are you kidding about? It's just a dream for someone of his kind to faint me to death. Golden Lion retorted. At a glance, Golden Lion is talking the most crazy things and doing the most intimidating things. As for the current Kaido, that guy is a bit unlucky, and there is no way to fight back. Boom. Kaido hit the ground like a bullet, and the smoke instantly enveloped him. Find flowers. Heat. Kaido at this time has transformed from a human form to a dragon form, opening his huge mouth, and a flame spouts directly from his mouth. Inside the thick smoke, a big hole was opened in an instant, and the flame spurted out, approaching Aizen. However, what Kaido didn't expect in the next second was that Aizen didn't even hide, and directly raised his hand. An invisible defensive wall stood in front of him, and when the flame hit the defensive wall, the flame diverged directly past Aizen. Kaido's pupils shrank violently. This guy actually blocked it. Su Yu's body flickered thunder and lightning from time to time, and burned flames from time to time, and his attacks were also diverse, which made locks a little bit painful. From the beginning, it was not inferior, and it gradually became a little strenuous now. You guy, why do you have 3 different attribute abilities? Is it possible that you ate 3 devil fruit? No, it is absolutely impossible. A person who consumes 2 devil fruits will die suddenly, let alone 3. How did you do it? Locke's pupils shrank sharply and looked at Su incredulously. You want to know? Su Yu looked at Locke and sneered. Tell me the story. Do you think I'm stupid? Su Yu retorted. It seems that I still took a wrong step. I should have wiped out your seedlings earlier, and there won't be today's things. Locke said in a deep voice. At this moment, Roger attacked from the side, brandishing a long sword and slashing directly. Locke reacted quickly, and the long sword in his hand was instantly wrapped by armament hockey. Dang! A cry. A powerful sword pressure swept towards the surroundings. Zitsa. In an instant, Su Yu came to Locke in an instant. At this time, he was fighting Roger with his sword. Even if the sword is closed now, it is very difficult for him to avoid Su Yu's attack. Chapter 99. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Boom. Su Yu hit Locke's chin with an uppercut. Pop. There was a sound. Locke flew directly into the sky. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Su Yu was about to make a sword and raised his hand to aim at him. Ziz. A blue lightning flashed from Su Yu's hand instantly, rushing towards Locke, who was still rising. Boom. Above the midair, lightning struck Locke accurately, and his whole body trembled. Then fell directly to the ground. Locke stood up, his face a little stiff. You two guys, you have irritated me completely, go to hell. Having said that, Locke directly wielded the long sword and slashed twice at Su Yu and Roger. While the blade was waving, the air was directly torn apart and the sound of swords rang. Swipe. Immediately afterwards, 2 huge white light blades flew out of the blade, and wherever they passed, the ground was directly cut open like tofu in the same way as it was. Question mark 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 question mark. Hurry up, Su Yu. Roger exhorted from the side. No need to. Wood style, the tree world is born. Su Yu clasped his hands together and shouted. In the next second, countless huge tree roots sprang out from the ground directly, rushing towards the light blade like a tide. Boom boom boom. The light blade directly cut the huge tree roots that rushed in front into slag, and the sawdust flew up in all directions in front. However, the number of tree roots was a little too much, directly reducing the speed of the light blade, and slowly the power of the light blade became smaller and smaller, and it had disappeared before it came to Su Yu's side. The roots of the tree continued to rise from the ground and rushed directly to Locks. Locks wielded his long sword continuously, and his sword energy kept flying towards the oncoming tree roots. Boom, boom. The thick smoke directly made the surrounding misty. At the same time, Kaido's side. Kaido was desperate. He was beaten directly from the dragon form to the human form, let alone fight back. The whole process was only for being beaten. Glancing around, he suddenly found that Golden Lion was fighting Copper Jabba fiercely. Didn't Shiki fall down? As he said, his inspiration flashed, as if thinking of something. Okay, I see, Shiki, you guys are really cruel. As soon as the voice fell, Aizen fell from the sky. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. You have no chance of winning at all, Aizen said calmly. Kaido doesn't speak. Yes, as Aizen said, he has no chance of winning at all, and he knows it very well himself. Su Yu, what kind of monsters are the people in this boat? Kaido murmured inwardly. Then he also learned what Golden Lion did, and wanted to transfer Aizen's goal from his own body to Golden Lion's body again. In the next second, he directly transformed into a dragon form again, first sprayed a flame at Aizen, and then took advantage of this opportunity to fly directly to the Golden Lion. Aizen was startled slightly. As this blow just to confuse my sight. What is it? Did you just run away? With that, Aizen floated slowly, then pursued. Shiki, you really have a good calculation. Kaido flew, and roared at the Golden Lion not far away. Golden Lion frowned when he saw Kaido flying towards him, chasing Aizen behind. Oh, didn't you expect to be discovered by you? Golden Lion also flew up and started to move away from Kaido desperately chasing after him. Just kidding, if it weren't for the Golden Lion, he could be as embarrassed as he is now. Quote. Copper Jabba looked at the three people flying in the air with a dazed expression and frowned. I think you are bullying me and I can't fly. At this time, the marine battleship had already arrived on the shore of the Fetus Islands. Somewhat unfortunately, they landed on the shore, where Su Yu really stopped. Finally arrived. You can hear the sound of fighting on the island here. It seems that it's not like learning from each other. Gengukong said in a deep voice. It should be a disagreement. Let's fight a big fight. If this is the case, then it will be a very good thing for us marine. Black Wrist Zephyr said. That's right, this is how I pray, Gengukong replied. Boom. At this moment, marine soldiers bounced out of Su Yu's ship. Immediately afterwards, Lem came out with a hammer hung with an iron chain. Gengukong heard the movement, and heard the reputation. This is Rem of the Super Dimension Pirate Group. I didn't expect there to be someone on the ship. Muttering, Gengukong continued. Zephyr, you led a team of marine and a battleship to destroy the ship of the Super Dimension Pirate Group. If people can't catch alive, just kill them. Others follow me to the island. Quote. Yes, Marshal Steelbone. Soon, Gengukong led Garp and the others, as well as a group of marines, running fast, toward Su Yu's location. On the other hand, Zephyr, the Black Wrist, was on a battleship. Shoot. Bump their ship into a mess. Black Wrist Zephyr exclaimed. Boom. Countless shells fired directly from the muzzle, and Lem frowned, wielding a hammer, and constantly shooting down the flying shells. It was fine at first, but as the number of shells behind became more and more, Rem couldn't bear it. Even more deadly, the tornado was still on the ship, and because of drunkenness, he was asleep. It seems that she is the only one watching the boat on the boat. The corner of the Black Wrist Zephyr's mouth raised slightly. Boom. A cannonball directly landed on the ship's armor, making a hole, and Lem's face became more and more ugly. Su Yu, I'm sorry, I failed to protect the ship. Lem went directly into the ship, picked up the sleeping tornado on his back, and began to escape from the other side. Want to run? Impossible. Everyone keeps up. Black Wrist Zephyr directly used Moonwalk to chase, and soon fell in front of Lem. You can't escape from my hands. Black Bowl Zephyr said coldly. Lem looked a little embarrassed, carrying 3.6 tornadoes on her back, she was a little uncomfortable to fight. Su Yu. Lem secretly called Su Yu's name a few times inwardly, praying that Su Yu would appear suddenly, but, obviously, this is an unlikely thing. Ding dong. By member Lem's cry for help. Su Yu, who was still fighting Locks, suddenly flashed the system prompt in his mind. What's the matter? Su Yu was a little surprised. Could it be that the members of Locks caught up? But if you think about it, it should be impossible, because Rem left before Locks came. Soon, a thought flashed through his mind. Is it Marine? Chapter 100. This guess may be more accurate. After all, Su Yu had learned from Marine before that Gengukong would also come to this island. Of course, it is not ruled out that it may be other members of Rock's pirate, or it may be other pirate groups. After Su Yu got out of the battle, he shouted to Roger, Roger, hold on first. Suddenly, I have to rush to save people. What's the situation? Roger asked as he fought. Maybe the Gengukong guys are here, and Lem just happened to meet them. Su Yu said in a deep voice. Roger didn't say much. Like Su Yu, he also values his partners very much. If his partners are in danger now, he will definitely withdraw from the battlefield and go to rescue. All right, you go first, I'll hold it back. Su Yu nodded. For him, there is always a chance to deal with locks. However, if Rem is caught by Marine and hides it, Su 12U's brain hurts. Aizen. Su Yu ran fast while yelling in Aizen's direction. At the same time, on Aizen's side, he has defeated Golden Lion and Kaido alone. Hearing Su Yu calling himself, his eyes shifted from Golden Lion and Kaido to Su Yu. What's happening? In the words, Su Yu has already come by Aizen. Suddenly, Lem met an enemy, we have to go back quickly. Su Yu said solemnly. Enemy. Well, I think it should be the Gangukong guys here. Okay. Aizen nodded and didn't say much. He caught Su Yu and flew up, rushing to the shore at a very fast speed. The Golden Lion and Kaido were all wounded, and he was relieved when Aizen was gone. Saved? Jahahaha, I was almost killed by that guy. Golden Lion sneered. Aizen UB ******* D is really hidden. I went to find the Super Dimension Pirates twice and didn't make any moves. If I made them at that time, I'm afraid I would have been cold. Kaido frowned. Kaido, you guy is a thief, you will drag me into the water if you die. Golden Lion suddenly pointed the contradiction to Kaido. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Kaido was not to be outdone, and sneered, you have the right to call me. If you can't beat me, just pretend to die and let him transfer the target to me. Hi, this trick is really high. Pretend to be dead, what nonsense are you talking about? He shifted the target to you, can this be blamed on me? Golden Lion retorted. Stop talking, Shiki, it's natural to understand. Huh, at this moment, Golden Lion punched directly, Kaido also punched quickly, and the two punches collided. It seems that today our grievances will be resolved in advance, Shiki. Kaido said coldly. I don't mind killing you in advance. Golden Lion sneered. Then see if you have this ability. Boom. Golden Lion and Kaido started a fierce battle. Wu Luki and Copper Jabba who were not far away were stunned. What's the matter with those two guys, aren't they a couple? Why did they fight? Wu Luki said with some sluggish eyes. I don't know, it was abrupt. Copper Jabba said lightly. Midair. Sure enough, Marine is here. Su Yu stared at Garp, who was running fast, and the steel frame said coldly. I didn't see Lem below, it's probably on the shore. Aizen said. Soon, Su Yu and Aizen came to the shore. As expected, Lem was still resisting. Su Yu's boat was already burning. According to this situation, within 10 minutes, the whole boat would be reduced to ashes. Falling on Lem's side, it seemed that Lem's spirit was too tight, thinking it was an enemy, and quickly attacked. Su Yu grabbed Lem's wrist and whispered softly, it's me Su Yu. With her blood-filled face, looking at Su Yu for a few seconds, the angry look on her face disappeared, her eye sockets suddenly moistened, and the white horns on her forehead began to disappear. Great, Su Yu, you finally came. The tornado was not injured, but I couldn't protect the ship. Seeing this scene, Su Yu was a little distressed, and his anger followed. He stretched out his hand and touched Lem's head as usual. It doesn't matter if people are 597, it doesn't matter whether the boat or not. As he said, his gaze scanned the still burning ship, and then he cast his sights on the Zephyr Black Wrist and a group of Marines not far away. He said coldly, Aizen, Lem can bother you to look at it. Don't you need me to do it? Aizen asked. As the captain, I have neglected my duty. I have to make up for it. If I didn't kill them personally, I would be uncomfortable. Su Yu said solemnly. Aizen's mouth raised slightly. Okay, then. Su Yu, I didn't expect we would meet so soon. Black-handed Zephyr said calmly. To shut up. With that said, Su Yu directly released Conqueror's Haki, and the powerful pressure swept towards Marine. In an instant, 98% of Marines fell to the ground, leaving only Zephyr Black Wrist, and a few Marines who did not seem to be too weak. Zephyr Black Wrist, as well as several other Marines, suddenly looked extremely ugly. Chapter 101. Almost all Marine soldiers fell to the ground in an instant. As this the Conqueror's Haki that only possesses the King's qualifications. One of the Marine soldiers who had not participated in the battle had a solemn expression. I haven't seen it for a while. The pressure of this guy's Conqueror's Haki can actually cause substantial physical damage. What kind of monster is this guy? Black Wrist Zephyr stared at Su Yu sharply. Zitsa. Su Yu was flashing with blue lightning, and in the next second, he disappeared in the same place instantly, and in the blink of an eye, he had come to the Black Wrist Zephyr. Black Wrist Zephyr's pupils shrank instantly, and he just wanted to defend himself, but Su Yu's fist had reached his abdomen. Boom. Black Wrist Zephyr flew upside down along with the Marine soldiers behind him. After landing, the Marines behind kept pushing the Black Wrist Zephyr's back, and then stopped. It's okay. Black Wrist Zephyr stood still and shook his head. I'm fine, you guys be careful, this guy is not the little girl just now. Just as he was speaking, Black Wrist Zephyr realized that Su Yu, who was supposed to be in front of him, had disappeared. He quickly glanced around, but still didn't find it. Damn it, that guy ran there. At the same time, the surrounding temperature rose rapidly, and some dry leaves not far away ignited directly. Look, Zephyr Admiral, that guy is up there. One of the Marine soldiers pointed his finger upwards. The Black Wrist Zephyr quickly raised his head. Although he did not see Su Yu, he saw a huge blue fireball. No, run. Black Wrist Zephyr shouted. Several Marines ran swiftly with Zephyr Black Wrist, but it was still very difficult to escape the fireball at their speed. With the rapid drop of the fireball, Black Wrist Zephyr knew that he couldn't run. Swipe. Cover armament hockey with both hands. I'm blocking, you run away. After all, Black Wrist Zephyr used armament hockey directly to bounce the fireball. But the fireball only paused in midair, and then continued to descend. Boom. The ground under his feet shattered directly, and then his body sank slowly. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. His hands began to tremble. What? He almost used all his strength, and his face was distorted as he shouted. Finally, he successfully used armament hockey to release the huge fireball to change its trajectory and land directly in the sea. Boom. A sound. The sea ignited huge waves, like a huge mouth, swallowing the shore. Just when Black Wrist Zephyr thought he could breathe a sigh of relief, what he never expected was the huge waves that rushed directly turned into blue flames. Black Wrist Zephyr's face changed drastically, and he quickly jumped and ran towards the heights. The flames turned into by the huge waves directly swallowed several other Marines. With a wailing sound, they disappeared. Call. Su Yu exhaled a big breath and stepped across the ground that was still burning. Zephyr, I must make you pay a heavy price today. At this time, the Black Wrist Zephyr standing on the heights was also angry, although try Su Yu, today is either you die or I live. At the same time, the other side. Gangbone Kong and Garp have arrived on the battlefield, and the situation suddenly changed. Gangu Kong didn't intend to fight. His ultimate goal was to separate the forces of Roger and Lox, so as not to discuss the plan, which would be detrimental to the world government. Moreover, they also knew that if they fought, Marine would definitely be ill-advised in this regard. Just kidding, the island is currently gathering, but the three giants of New World, Marine can't match it at all. The battle between Roger and Lox stopped because of the arrival of Marine. Everyone is not a fool, and continuing to fight will only pick up the leak for Marine. If one side fights with Marine, the other side can pick up the leak again, so the best way for now is to stop the fight. Gangu Kong, you really choose the time. Lox glanced at Gongang Kong coldly. What the hell is going on? The phone worm clearly eavesdropped that they were going to discuss something. Gangu Kong muttered softly. Ha 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 ha, if you said that, we shouldn't have come, and now we are here, just to stop them from fighting. Garp laughed from the side. As the words fell, Gangbone's brow furrowed. However, although it is wrong, it is very close to the truth. The second one is sent. Ask for subscription, ask for subscription, ask for subscription. The fat guy can give it to himself, please. Bundle. It seems, we have misunderstood. Their battle is not to compete, but to destroy the enemy's forces. Garp said. Could it be Roger and Su Yu negotiating to deal with Lox? A Marine on the side guessed. Impossible. If Roger and Su Yu negotiated to jointly deal with Lox, then Lox shouldn't appear on this island today. Gangu Kong analyzed. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Gangu Kong also frowned. Yes, we miscalculated. If we don't come today, maybe a giant will disappear in New World. Perhaps it should be like this. Roger was chased by Lox, and then Roger turned to Su Yu for help, and the two parties' kings reached a plan to eliminate Lox. Lox sneered and ignored him directly, focusing on Roger's body. Diaresis Roger counts you luck and tells me Su Yu, I will destroy you two by myself. When Marine heard this, his face changed. Ha 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 ha. Roger laughed loudly. Come on. Lox hasn't seen each other for a long time, and the three giants of New World stay together. It's not because you want to attack the world government. Gangu Kong asked tentatively. Chapter 102. If the true story of this incident is known to 5 elders, it is estimated that Gangu Kong will be invited to drink again. Giant pirates kill each other, no matter who wins or loses, this is undoubtedly what the world government hopes most. Brush. A huge ship began to descend, and Lox and his group began to jump up. In a short while, only members of the Roger Pirate Group and members of the Super Dimension Pirate Group were left in the venue. It seems we should evacuate too. I don't think you guys will take action. Roger said. Yu Guang looked at Gangu Kong. Although Lox is gone, the Super Dimension Pirates and Roger Pirates are all here. If Marine really dares to do it, Roger will fight. I am afraid that if it really does fight, Marine will still suffer the most. Gangbone Kong is not a fool. The last time the Tuma Order encircled and suppressed the Super Dimension Pirate Group, he still vividly remembered it, not to mention adding the Roger Pirate Group this time. If the fight continues, I'm afraid this island won't be available, so today I plan to open one eye and close one eye. Gangu Kong said calmly. Roger sneered, and didn't break through the words of the steel bones. Brothers, let's go. Hey, Ram, we should go too. Jiraiya called to Ram not far away. Ram nodded, and approached Senju Hashirama 600. In the previous battle, Ram did not fight. If the members of Lox came and attacked, Whitebeard would retreat, and he would fight too. Hey, Su Yu, where is Aizen? Wu Luki realized that Su Yu and Aizen were missing. There was a problem with Rem, so they rushed back. Jiraiya said. Well, let's get back to the boat as soon as possible. Ram suggested. Okay. Everyone nodded. Just as the group was about to leave, Roger yelled. Please tell me Su Yu, next time I meet I will invite them to drink. Okay. Su Yu sighed. The entire shore has collapsed and was directly submerged by seawater. Dita, Dita. Bright red blood dripped from the black-wrist Zephyr's fingertips to the ground. His hands have been severely burned by Suyu's flames. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. His face is very stiff, because Suyu fights, it is absolutely desperate, it is exactly the kind of either you die or I die. You fellow, are you crazy? With the style of play just now, you will hurt yourself 800 and hurt your enemy 1,000. Black-wrist Zephyr said solemnly. I hurt myself 800. Injured 1,000 enemies. Hehehehe. Where did you see that I was injured? Suyu couldn't help laughing when he heard this. He didn't know whether he was inheriting Senju Hashirama or Aizen's abilities, and he also gained a super fast healing ability. After being injured, it will automatically heal quickly. Black-wrist Zephyr took a serious look at Suyu, and sure enough, the wound he had left Suyu just now had already recovered. What the hell are you? It's impossible for a person to have such a perfect ability. Black-wrist Zephyr asked in surprise. The corners of Suyu's mouth raised slightly, ignoring him. He quickly rushed towards the black-wrist Zephyr again. The battle started again. As the black-wrist Zephyr's hands were severely burned by the flames, his combat effectiveness dropped a lot. After a while, boom, accompanied by a violent explosion, smoke and dust instantly enveloped the surroundings. In the center of the smoke and dust, Suyu stared at Zephyr, the black wrist lying motionless on the ground. He blocked the final blow with his hands, and the price was that his hands had become coke. This is the price you paid to scare my crew. Zephyr, Suyu said coldly, looking at the body that was not known to be dead. Call. He sighed heavily. Life is difficult, he just wants to settle down and complete his task smoothly. Why Marine, and locks always trouble themselves. Goodbye, it's time to draw an end to your life. Muttered, Suyu's palm was filled with blue flames. Then he threw it down, and the flame quickly burned. Since the emergence of Suyu, the butterfly effect caused to this world is becoming bigger and bigger. Obviously, many things are destined to be greatly changed in the future. Suyu walked out of the pit and frowned slightly as he watched the wreckage of his ship floating on the sea. Here, suddenly, on a Marine's battleship, Aizen's voice rang. Suyu jumped onto the boat with the help of the wreckage on the sea. I checked it while you were fighting. As far as the equipment of this ship is better, I moved it from another ship as far as food is concerned. Aizen replied. This ship is much bigger than our previous ship. The bloodline on Lem's face has been cleaned and hastened, and his clothes were changed into a new Marine costume. Suyu nodded. Is that guy dead? Aizen continued to ask. People, you always have to pay a certain price for what you do. Suyu said calmly. While speaking, Suyu burned flames in his hands, and then one after another shot towards the surrounding Marine battleships. Boom, boom, ship after ship sank to the bottom of the sea. On the rocks pirate. Damn it, I didn't expect Suyu to join forces with Roger. This really surprised me, Locks said angrily. This is also something no one can think of. Now that Roger and Suyu have joined forces, I am afraid that if we want to destroy them, the difficulty has risen a lot. Longbread whispered. In this match, Suyu surprised me too much. How did that guy have 3 types of devil fruit abilities? Locks said incredulously. Everyone shook their heads. Just then, Whitebeard's voice rang. Shiki, Kaido, are you two injured? As soon as the voice fell, Locks cast his gaze over. He didn't pay attention to them in the upload just now. Now that he saw Golden Lion and Kaido were injured, he was slightly startled. What's the matter with you two? Chapter 103. Yes, why are you two injured? A man also asked. It's been a long time since Shiki was injured. What's going on today? I don't think the battle lasted very long. Whitebeard continued. And it looks a little serious, who are you two fighting against? Longbread looked at them both with doubts. Golden Lion and Kaido are a little hard to tell, after all, this is a shameful thing. Yes, 2 hit 1, and the other didn't hurt at all. On my own side, both of them were seriously injured. Shiki fought with Kaido just now. It is estimated that the injury was caused by both sides. Charlotte Linlin said. Locks next to him frowned when he heard the words. Shiki, Kaido, I'm very disappointed by the two of you. In such a critical battle, the two of you actually fought each other. Seeing Locks getting angry, Shiki sighed and said, she only saw the latter part. The injuries between Kaido and I were not caused by my own people, but by the house called Aizen in the Super Dimension Pirate Group, it's caused by one's partner. Aizen. When everyone heard the words, they were thoughtful. Although Locks is unfamiliar with this name, he is not unfamiliar. Basically, he has seen it on the wanted list many times. Yes, Golden Lion nodded, and continued. That guy is terrible, and Kaido and I have joined forces, and there is no way to fight back. Although Kaido doesn't have a good impression of Golden Lion, but at this time, he nodded, indicating that what Golden Lion said is true. If Suyu didn't ask Aizen to go with him to rescue other members, we probably wouldn't be able to escape this disaster today. Kaido added. Locks heard the words, was silent for a few seconds, and said, there is still such a strong person in the Super Dimension Pirate Group. Captain Locks, more than that, the quality of the members of the Super Dimension Pirate Group may not match the entire New World Pirate Group, including us. Whitebeard said. Edward, what you said, but we look down on our Rocks Pirate. Loaf retorted Whitebeard. That's right, if we didn't know that you were a member of Rocks Pirate, we would have thought you belonged to the Super Dimension Pirates. Charlotte Linlin looked at Whitebeard with a weird look. Kaido and Golden Lion are silent. The two of them don't want to talk about the super dimension pirates now, because the shadow that Aizen has caused both of them is a bit big. Okay, now the problem we have to face is a bit bigger, and now that Roger and Suyu are teaming up, the threat is great for us. The pirates' balance is tilted, and we must straighten it. From today, we Rock's pirate need to recruit a large number of potential pirates. In contrast, the situation on the island side. Roger has evacuated from the island, driving the boat has left. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Senju Hashirama and the others also came to the shore and boarded the new boat. Rem, you are not injured, right? Ram ran up to Lem anxiously, touching and watching. A smile leaked from Lem's face. Don't worry, sister, Lem is okay, thanks to Suyu and Aizen who arrived in time. It's a pity that our boat was not kept. It's okay if the ship is not a ship or anything. On the contrary, I think it is more cost effective, because this ship is bigger and there are many cannons for combat. Wu Luki was a little bit happy in his heart, and now I want to go to the fort and try these cannons. Power. However, the room inside is a bit small. Lem said lightly. It's okay, there is Hashirama in the transformation of the ship, everything is a small problem. Wu Luki leaked a weird smile. It seems the same is true. Lem nodded. Has everyone on board? At this moment, Suyu walked out of the ship and asked. Yeah, it's all here. Everyone responded. Go. It's not a good thing to stay here. Suyu said lightly. Indeed, what I want is to wait for the guy Gangukong to turn around and see the black-wrist Zephyr disappear. I'm afraid he will chase after him. Find flowers. If Suyu sails, even if they want to catch up, the conditions are not allowed, because Suyu destroys all the surrounding ships. They can only stay on this island for a few days or requisition other ships before they can leave. Sure enough, Suyu left for about 10 minutes. Gangukong and his party came to the shore. See the wreckage floating in the sea around. He was P************** D off with an E*********** N. Suyu, what a Suyu. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. The big pit in this range also means that the impact is great during the battle, I guess it might be. One of the Marine lieutenant generals said halfway, but did not continue. That guy is really ruthless. He destroyed all the warships we came by. Garp also frowned. Wait, Gangukong suddenly realized something, his face solemnly said, where is Zephyr? And the Marine soldiers he leads. Everyone just stared at the flames for a while. Gangbone Kong didn't speak, because the ashes burning inside had a 90% chance to be sure that it was Zephyr Black Wrist. Marshal Steelbone, a charred half of a corpse was found here. Updates sent. Ask for self-determination, ask for self-determination, ask for self-determination, please, reader bosses. Million. This time, he originally thought that there would be no loss, but the loss was even greater. Even if the battleship was gone, he also lost a Marine master. I have it here too. Damn it, Gangukong shouted angrily. Gangbone Kong and Garp rushed towards the pit. As Marine soldiers said, the center of the pit was still burning, but the corpse had already been reduced to ashes. As soon as the voice fell, a voice rang from the side. There is also one in the big pit here, and it's still burning. ... 00. Suyu, one day, I will catch you with my own hands. Steel Bone said solemnly. Chapter 104. After a long time, Suyu on the boat. Oh, the tornado floated and looked around the ship for a week, very puzzled inside. When I woke up, everything changed drastically. How long have I slept now? You slept for about 10 hours in total. Rem on the ship's fence responded. What happened during the time I was asleep? Why do we sit on Marine's boat? Tornado asked, looking at the big Marine sail. Aizen opened his eyes on the big pole with the sails and threatened. This time, you have to thank Lem well. If you don't have Lem, you might have been caught by Marine and thrown into the sea to feed the fish. Hey. Tornado appeared in horror, floated to Lem's side, and asked, what happened during the time I fell asleep? A lot has happened. People from Rock's Pirate are here, and Marine is here too. Lem said with a smile. I have no impression at all, and even I have forgotten how I fell asleep. I just remember that I was happy, drank a little alcohol, and was on this boat after waking up. Tornado said lightly. Don't drink next time. If I didn't arrive in time, things would get worse and worse. Suyu said not far away. Thank you. Tornado whispered in Lem's ear. You're welcome. Because we are all partners. Lem said softly. Tornado's heart was slightly moved, and he decided not to drink with vindictiveness in the future. You can drink less on the boat in the future. Speaking of this, Suyu suddenly remembered the meteorite and immediately changed his words. No. I was wrong. You can't drink less on your own boat. Anyway, you just can't drink. I know. You don't have to keep talking. Humph. Tornado crossed his hands on his chest, Kaido puffed up. Next time she drank and fell asleep, let's drop her off the boat secretly. Aizen teased. This is a good idea. Pull her to the uninhabited island and let her down. Suyu also teased. After the tornado heard the words, Yu Guang glanced at Suyu and Aizen. Huh. You two men are really venomous. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Ha 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 ha. The people on the side couldn't help laughing. A few days later, Holy Land Mary Geois. Yes, Gangukong was interviewed by 5 elders again. In the meeting room, 5 pairs of eyes looked at Gengukong directly, making him feel uncomfortable. Steel, the recent performance of Marine. I can't bear to look straight. The long-bearded man spoke first. The killing order failed and many battleships were lost. The only advantage is that some people with potential did not lose. The Fitters Islands incident, but the loss of another battleship, and the loss of another marine elite with great potential. Gang Ji Yu Kong nodded. I'm responsible for negligence. Oh, one of the men sighed. It hasn't been long since we sat here and talked. I didn't expect you to come again. Gengukong was a little helpless. He didn't want to come, but there was no way. However, I can't completely blame you. At least for now, we still have good news. That is to know that Lox has conflicts with Roger and Su Yu. I believe that soon, there will be a big duel in the waters of New World. The long-bearded man said lightly. I don't think so. Things change. With Roger and Su Yu joining forces, the 3 of them may not join forces in the future. Gang Gukong expressed his opinion. It makes sense for you to say that. Do you have any good solutions? A man asked. These 3 pirate groups undoubtedly pose a serious threat to Marine, world government, or the entire world. Unexpectedly, Roger and Su Yu joined forces. We can use this opportunity to try to make Rock's pirate become the world government and join the pirates. Gengu said slowly. Steel, I think you are confused, this is almost impossible. The bearded man retorted. It might not have been possible before, but it's not necessarily now. We want to eliminate Su Yu and Roger, and Lox is the same. It's possible to have the same way, Gengukong said calmly. After the last Fetus Islands incident, we Marine knew that Lox had conflicts with Su Yu and Roger, so this time we came here to discuss this matter. Words fall. One Marine man just finished speaking, and another took it. Yes, we would like to invite you to temporarily become a member of the Pirates of the World 3.6 government. The deadline is to destroy either Roger or Su Yu. After the event is completed, you will be automatically released from the pirates. If this is the case, you can try it. Marine actually sent a few negotiators to Rock's pirate's ship. Lox sat on the chair and looked at the 3 men who said they were here to negotiate with a look of disdain. As soon as the voice fell, everyone was silent for a moment. We know that the balance of pirate power in New World is tilted. It must be very difficult for you to deal with Roger and Su Yu and the 2 pirate groups, so our Marine is unconditionally willing to help you. Chapter 105. I like the way you Marines talk nonsense with their eyes open best. Golden Lion was not used to what Marine negotiators said, taunting. That's right, but also help us, are you here to make us laugh? It doesn't sound good, the pirates go with the pirates, and the pirates and Marine are enemies. Charlotte Linlin sneered. Regardless of the side of Roger or Su Yu, the biggest beneficiary is Marine. It is really too much of you to help us, Whitebeard said solemnly. The negotiators sent by the 3 Marines were stunned in an instant, and they did not develop as they expected. This is just a literal meaning, I did not underestimate you. One of the men quickly explained. Yes, we mean that Marine will cooperate with you. Anyway, you also want to eradicate one of Roger or Su Yu, and so does Marine. We Marine wish you a helping hand. Isn't it a great thing? Another man said. It's a good thing for you on the 12th day of the day, right? When you fight, Marine is happy no matter who dies. Lox looked at them coldly. Quote, the guy Lox doesn't even know what the point is. He has been holding on to the loopholes in his words to talk about things. The man in the middle cursed secretly. However, he could only curse in his heart. In reality, he didn't dare. Win-win cooperation. It is good for everyone. With that, one of the men also took out the phone worm and quickly dialed. After a while, the phone worm spoke. I am a steel bone. The man handed the phone worm to Lox. Lox took a glance, but reached out to catch it. I am Lox. Presumably my people have told you. How about it, Lox, are you interested? This is a win-win opportunity. Gengukong asked. Do you think that Rock's pirate can't compete with Roger and the Super Dimension pirates? Lox asked. Of course it doesn't mean it. Let's work together, you can relax a little bit, and we Marine can also relax a little bit. Isn't that good? Once one of the parties is resolved, our contract will be automatically terminated, as you have never been a member of the world government. You know, it is very easy for the world government to block historical information. Ha 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 ha. Lox sneered, and then said in a deep voice. Steel, I tell you very clearly, I don't need it. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. After all, before Steel Bone could speak back, Lox squeezed the phone worm in his hand. Yes, it is still too whimsical. How could Lox join forces with Marine? When the 3 men saw this situation, their complexions instantly became dignified. They knew that the conversation had fallen apart, and only death was waiting for them. Lox glanced at the 3 men coldly, and then said in a deep voice, even if I fight Rock's pirate to the last person, I don't need your Marine's help. Remember it for me, this era is called Lox. The 3 men frowned and looked at Lox in horror, not daring to speak. Kaido, throw the 3 of them into the sea. Understood, Captain Lox. However, these 3 men were also considered lucky. Lox did not kill them on the spot, but threw them into the sea. Talking collapsed. Garp on the side looked at the steel bones and asked. Gang Ji Yu Kong nodded, and then sighed heavily, I'll just say, how could that guy Lox cooperate with us? Garp smiled and ate the snacks in his hands. It seems that I really think too much. By the way, has Sengoku returned from the mission? Gengukong asked. I'm back, the task was completed successfully. That's good. Hearing this, Steel Hollow finally had some comfort in his heart. After all, Marine was basically defeated during this period of time. A few days have passed. The third day of logging onto the island. These materials mentioned by Suyu are undoubtedly thunder fruit whose running in degree is already full. Task. Summon 8 crew members, 6/8. However, what Suyu is looking forward to is what thunder fruit will become after it evolves. Summoning character legacy. Kido Aizen, Ghost Blood Race, Rem, Wood Style, Sage Mode, Hashirama. After reading it carefully, he muttered. Okay, some simple materials are ready, now only the last thing is left, but where can I find a devil fruit? Bring your own ability. Evolution. Special ability. Under Fire, 1792,000, Thunder Fruit, 1001,060,000, Armament Hockey Intermediate, 1902,000, Observation Hockey, 192,000, Conqueror's Hockey, 562,000. Hey, I don't want too much, let's see where I can get a devil fruit. He glanced at his attribute panel, and then Suyu turned his gaze to the pile of materials in front of him. Suyu muttered, got up, packed all the materials needed for the evolution in front of him in a bag, and then brought it back to the ship. Summoning value. 1,050 80,000. Summon. Aizen 45%, Rem 45%, Hashirama 50%, Wuluki 25%, Jiraiya 25%, Tornado 20%. The third thing is coming, begging for subscription, begging for subscription, begging for subscription, and the fat brother give an automatic subscription. Host. Suyu. Chapter 106. This island is very prosperous, there are many nobles, generally speaking, pirates rarely make trouble on this island. Because the country on this island is a member of the world government, Marine will soon arrive in the event of a disturbance. Although the island looks bright and beautiful, the bottom layer is very chaotic, and people often disappear inexplicably on this island. In a village near the sea with dozens of families. A little girl who was only about 10 years old, with a few bags of food in her hand, was behind her with a woman who was about the same height as her, wearing a black slit gown. Yes, she is the Tornado. After the ship docked, Suyu left one person to watch the ship every day by drawing lots, and all the rest were free to move. Do you live in a place like this? Tornado glanced around at these simple houses. Emily nodded, not at all ruining her mood because of the surrounding environment. Yes, sister. Soon, they came to a small room, the contents of which were also very dilapidated. Are you alone? Tornado continued. Yes, after my father disappeared a few years ago, my brother went to be a pirate. Only me and Grandma are left at home, but not long ago, Grandma passed away too. Emily replied in a low voice. Sorry, it's okay, sister, you are my savior. If it weren't for you, I might have been captured by traffickers today. Emily squeezed out a smile with difficulty. This island is so dangerous, why not leave? My brother said he will come back, and I will wait for him here. Looking at Emily, at such a young age, it really hurts to be sensible. Not long after Emily came back, some people in rags walked in. Xiao Mi Li, where have you gone these few days, it makes us worry to death. A middle-aged man asked impatiently. Emily was taken aback for a moment, then smiled and said, I went to town to find some food. Didn't I tell you? The town is very dangerous, why you just don't understand. A woman on the side yelled. I know it was wrong, you see, I brought you so much food. Emily said, ran to the dilapidated kitchen and took out a few bags of food. Those in rags sighed helplessly. No more chance. Don't worry, uncle, aunt, Xiao Millie won't have another time. Emily said softly. Who is this? Those in rags turned their eyes to Tornado. She is a friend I made in town. Emily replied. She didn't say that Tornado was her lifesaver. After the province said it, it worried them. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. One of the women took Emily out and said, don't make friends, there is no good person in town. Emily quickly explained. Tornado is a good person. You are still young, don't understand. The woman retorted. She is really a good person. Okay, I won't argue with this, and your brother is back. The woman whispered. Really? Of course it's true. Then where is he now? You're embarrassed to ask, he went to town to find you, and your brother is amazing now. Hearing from him, he has joined a powerful pirate group, and we will have stable food in the future. As he spoke, a smile leaked out of his face. Really? After hearing this, Emily became excited. When did I lie to you? I watched, there are hundreds of people in his team. Hundreds of people, my brother is amazing. Emily heard this and couldn't wait to see her brother who hadn't seen her for many years. Tornado wanted to leave, but Emily insisted on telling her to stay and eat before leaving. When it was time to eat, her brother also came back, and the house and outside were crowded with people. However, fortunately, when they came back, they brought their own food. Otherwise, Emily cooked it, and it would be gone before the round was finished. This is, Ebuk asked. His name is Tornado, thanks to her saving me in town today, and she is a pirate like her brother. Emily explained. Pirate. Ebuk glanced at the Tornado, and then continued. No, which pirate group even needs children? Hearing the words, Tornado immediately put down the dishes and chopsticks, calling me, kid, kill you. Emily on the side hurriedly pulled Tornado's hand, Sister, don't be angry. Brother, don't look at your sister like a child, he is actually very old. Tornado sighed and continued to eat. Brother, Auntie said you joined a powerful pirate group, which one is it? Emily asked. Before Ebuk could answer, the younger brother beside him answered for him. Do you know the super-dimensional pirate group that crossed the Holy Land Mary Geois? I don't know. Emily shook her head. That's the one that your brother joined. He is currently the captain of the second team of the Super Dimension Pirates. It sounds amazing. Emily looked at her brother with admiration. The tornado on the side was eating, listening to them saying this was straightforward. He hadn't heard of Suyu about the fact that the Super Dimension Pirates had a team. Super Dimension Pirate Group, Tornado suddenly said. What, do you know? Ebuk said lightly. Tornado swallowed the food on his mouth, and then said lightly, you have a certain understanding, after all, I am also in the Super Dimension Pirate Group. As soon as these words came out, Emily yelled with joy in an instant. Really, it's two Fate Kings, you are all members of the Super Dimension Pirate Group. However, in the next second, Ebuk retorted. Don't blow it up. The Super Dimension Pirate Group has always recruited strong people. How can our boss want you with such a weak look? After all, everyone burst into laughter. Quote. Just as Tornado wanted to say something, Emily spoke first. Brother, you are too much. Seeing Emily's anger, Ebuk took back the smile on his face and said lightly. Okay, I don't make fun of it, so let's go. Our second team just lacks a handyman. I will report to Suyu boss, let you officially become a member of the Super Dimension Pirate Group. Tornado. Chapter 107. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Seeing Tornado's confusion and not speaking, Ebuk continued to say, What? I've wronged you by doing miscellaneous tasks. I tell you that many people want to do miscellaneous tasks without this opportunity. Do you know the glorious record of the Super Dimension Pirate Group? Faced with the demon-killing order launched by the world government, our captain directly destroyed Martial Marines warships. Tisk tusk, that's not what ordinary pirate groups can do. Ebuk spoke and waved, as if he was there at the time. At that time, Tornado hadn't been summoned over the demon-slaying order incident, but she had heard Lem mention it. Somewhat embarrassingly, 70% of Tornado believed what Ebuk said at this moment, but Tornado can't be blamed either, because Suyu never said anything about the second team, nor did he deny it again. I don't want it. I don't know any of your second teams, so I don't want to go. Tornado Tansho said. Then you missed the opportunity to join the Super Dimension Pirate Group. Our captain is very familiar with Captain Suyu. Yes, the captain is our benefactor. Without him, we would never have joined the Super Dimension Pirates. Except for Captain Suyu, the captain is the second person I admire. 600. Tornado frowned, her words confused her a bit. Captain, when will you take us to meet the captain? We have only seen it in the newspapers and on the wanted order. We haven't seen a real person since we came back. Cough. Ebuk pretended to cough a few times, and then said lightly, Low-key, Boss Suyu is very busy, it won't be so easy to meet him. It's easy, he's on the boat, do you want to go? By the way, I just have to go back after the meal. The tornado, who was eating, suddenly inserted another sentence. Ebuk frowned. What the hell are you talking about? Boss Suyu is busy on other islands in New World. We just arrived here a few days ago, didn't he inform you? Tornado asked. Enough, I can't stand it. If you are pretending, I'll be rude to you. Ebuk said impatiently. Tornado heard the words, his eyes changed, his body glowed with a faint green light, and then the whole person floated up. What, do you want to fight? Tornado asked. Seeing this scene, Ebuk was dumbfounded. Are you? Demon fruit power. Tornado folded his hands on his chest, and looked at Ebuk with disdain. Okay, stop making trouble. Emily hurriedly said, and then ran out with the tornado, leaving a sentence. We are full. Hey, I haven't eaten enough yet. Tornado muttered. Ah. Soon, Emily went outside with the tornado. I'm sorry, my brother has such a temper. I see, a stinky kid, talking to him is very tired, I can't match it at all. Tornado waved his hand, a little helpless. Don't mind. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. How can I care about a stinky kid, not to mention that he is also a member of the Super Dimension Pirate Group. Tornado continued. Sister, are you really from the Super Dimension Pirate Group? Tornado looked at Emily in surprise. Why do you ask? No, just asked casually. Emily smiled slightly. The tornado was silent for a few seconds, then pulled Emily and floated up, quickly flying towards the shore. Where are you taking me? We are on board. Hey. The tornado's flight was fast, and it was back on the ship in about 7 or 8 minutes. At this time, Suyu was sitting on the rocking chair, holding a parasol on the side, and a fishing rod standing beside him. I don't know if he is fishing or sleeping. Brush. Tornado brought Emily to the ship. Suyu spotted the two of them, poked his head and glanced, then lay back. The tornado floated past, and Emily followed behind. Suyu, don't find me, I have no money. Suyu said with closed eyes. Basically, all his money is converted into exchange value. What do you think? I didn't come to you to get the money. Tornado glanced at Suyu. Okay, as long as you don't talk about money, you say. I'm here to ask you for one thing. Many of your super-dimensional second team members want to see you. It just so happens that you have also come to this island. I think you can satisfy their wish, said. Su Yu was slightly startled when he heard the words, then sat up, looking at the tornado with a puzzled expression on his face. What are you talking about? What super-dimensional second team? Yes, we are the second team of the Super Dimension Pirates. Tornado replied. Su Yu reached out and touched Tornado's forehead, and touched his own with the other hand. I don't have a fever. Go. Tornado quickly pushed Su Yu's hand away. What nonsense are you talking about? I think you are talking nonsense. What Super Dimension second team? Super Dimension Pirates is the people on our ship, you have all seen. Where are there any second teams? After speaking, Su Yu got up specially and pushed the floating tornado a certain distance away. Okay, it's difficult to take a vacation, you ask Lem and the others to play, I'll sleep. Then, Su Yu lay down in the rocking chair again, closing his eyes. Tornado had no choice but to cast his gaze on Emily. That one. It's okay, sister. I'll take you to other places to play. Okay. It was getting dusk, and Emily returned to her home. At this time, Ebuk is discussing matters with the members. Brother, I want to see the wanted order for the captain of the Super Dimension Pirate Group. Emily just walked in and asked. I just have one in my pocket. Now give it to you. One of the men said, and took out a crumpled wanted warrant from his pocket. After Emily took it, when he saw the portrait of Su Yu, his pupils suddenly shrank sharply. Then, he walked to the side of Ebuk and whispered. Brother, that's sister today, he is really a member of the Super Dimension Pirates, and I also saw the boss Su Yu you mentioned, wanted with this one. The length is exactly the same. When Taebak heard this, his face instantly became stiff. Chapter 108. After a few seconds of silence, Ebuk said calmly, Brothers, wait a moment, I have something to tell my sister. After all, he took Emily out, away from his brothers, and continued. What are you talking about? The Super Dimension Pirate Group is on this island, and the guy with the green curly hair is a member of the Super Dimension Pirate Group. Emily nodded, and then continued. Brother, I know, there is no second team in the Super Dimension Pirates. You deceived those who trust your friends. Ebuk sighed heavily. Yes, as Emily said, the so-called Super Dimension second team is fake, and it is a lie he used to close his hands. Some time ago, the Super Dimension Pirate Group landed in New World and its reputation soared in a short period of time. Ebuk saw this opportunity. Under the guise of the Super Dimension second team, he gathered hundreds of members in a short time. However, what he never expected was that the members of the Super Dimension Pirate Group were really on this island right now. Moreover, there was almost a conflict today. If it hadn't been for his sister to stop him, a tragedy might have happened. Thinking about it now, it's really scary to think carefully. Yes, the so-called Super Dimension second team is all fake. It's just a lie created by my brother in order to stop his men. Ebuk said frankly. Brother, why are you doing this? I want to overthrow this dark country. Ebuk categorically cut the railroad. Emily blinked her eyes, looking at this familiar but strange brother. You don't care about my business. If the Super Dimension Pirate Group is here, it seems that my plan needs to be advanced. Ebuk knew that once the partners he lied to know that the Super Dimension second team was fake, they would inevitably leave, even a little angry. Not only would he be implicated, even his sister would be no exception. On the shore of Su Yu's boat, everyone is enjoying dinner. Su Yu, this time we are going to rest on this island for a few days. Wu Luki suddenly asked. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Su Yu thought for a few seconds. Let's stay for a few days. Then we should find something to do these days. When I was walking around the island today, I received a very interesting news. Wu Luki continued. Interesting news. When everyone heard the words, they all cast their eyes on him. Tell me the story. It is said that tomorrow, celestial dragons will come to this island. Celestial dragons. Su Yu's face changed slightly when he heard these three words. Forget it, that bunch of straw bags, I'm sick when I see them. Yeah, the celestial dragons guys are simply cancerous in this world. Lem also said. Also claiming to be a descendant of the creator, this is a bit funny. Aizen chuckled lightly. Perhaps, we can give him some color to see. Ram also whispered in. Come on, those guys with shit in their heads are a waste of our time. Su Yu said casually. Indeed, in Su Yu's eyes, the so-called descendants of the creator, celestial dragons, are like ordinary people. If you want all the staff to go out, just teach a trash like this. Wouldn't it be a waste of everyone's time? Wait, can you just listen to me? Wu Luki sighed. Then you mean it? Tornado glanced at him. I heard people in the town say that the kingdom of this island is a member of the world government. Celestial dragons come here once or twice a year, and then the kings and nobles here will pay a lot of money to celestial dragons. Even, celestial dragons will choose slaves to take away. Find flowers. It is said that the purpose of the king of this country is that he also wants to become celestial dragons. Wu Luki's voice fell off. Everyone frowned slightly. Does anyone want to be that kind of garbage? Tornado said solemnly. I remember Su Yu once said that celestial dragons treat people of other races as slaves. They enjoy all the privileges. Once offended, the Admiral or CP0 of Naval Headquarters must devote all their military power to maintain. Lem said lightly. This world is very realistic. Although it is rubbish in our eyes, it is not necessarily in the eyes of others. But if you say that, I think this king has shit in his mind. ... 0. Please celestial dragons can give him a chance to be celestial dragons. Ha ha ha, his idea is really a bit naive. Su Yu sneered. Thinking again, Su Yu. Wu Luki asked Su Yu suddenly. Ahem, people like us with a righteous heart will definitely benefit the world, and definitely beat celestial dragons into pigs. Su Yu calmly said. Tusk, if it weren't for me to get on the ship early, I guess I really believed it. You have taken a fancy to the money that the king of this country handed over to celestial dragons. Lem broke through. Good fellow, tell the truth. Ha 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 ha, everyone laughed. It's all here. If this country is so rich, we don't want to make some money and leave. I'm really sorry for ourselves. Su Yu said solemnly. Then ransack them all and see if he has any money to hand over to celestial dragons in the future. Chapter 109. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. In a blink of an eye, the time has reached the next day. Morning. Just as Wu Luki received the news, celestial dragons arrived on the island in a ship carrying marine. On the port, there was a red carpet. Every tens of meters, a guard stood on the carpet. The surrounding area is full of citizens, including some aristocrats. Even the king of this country came out to greet him personally. Immediately, you can see the world nobles. Celestial dragons soon. One of the ordinary citizens was a little excited. Yes, our island is really blessed. Celestial dragons basically visit once or twice a year. Thanks to our king, he has friendship with celestial dragons, so celestial dragons always respect the king's face. Yeah, look, there are a lot of people around from another island, just to witness the noble appearance of celestial dragons in the world. Seeing those citizens who are not qualified to come from another island is upset, I really suggest that the king can rectify it so that citizens on other islands cannot log onto this noble island without a communication card. Don't worry, I believe that soon, the king will boycott citizens from other islands. I hope so. Behind these people, Su Yu and his group are sitting by the window of a restaurant on the second floor, drinking tea. Who is this? Tornado, why did you bring her here? Lem looked at Emily and asked suspiciously. I ran into a very poor child yesterday, and then I ran into it again today, and I just invited her to dinner. Tornado replied. Eccentric, I haven't even asked for it. Rem teased. Add one to the above. Senju Hashirama also replied. Don't talk, I, as the captain, haven't invited me, did I say anything? Su Yu spread his hands on the sidelines. Stop talking, I'll please this meal. Tornado said grimly. Are you rich? Su Yu asked. Quote. No. Su Yu looked at Emily and said lightly, remember, I asked you to eat today, not her. Emily nodded. Thank you, big brother. Well, hurry home after eating. I'm still looking for my brother. Then you can find it. At the same time, Marines' 3 warships arrived at the port. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. A fat man with a bubble hood on his head walked out slowly. Yes, he is Celestial Dragon's Kamajim-san. Behind him, followed by guards in armor. On the right is the naval headquarters, their purpose is undoubtedly to protect the safety of celestial dragons. Look, these damn untouchables are welcoming us. Kamajim Saint grinned sneer. At this time, the king of this island came over, knelt down on one knee, leaned over, and whispered softly, welcome to the great celestial dragons, holy Kamajim to come to this kingdom. Get down, I'm going to step on you to land on the island. Kamajimo glanced at the king and said in disgust. Indeed, Kamajim Saint also has arrogant capital, what are you a king? There is no need to look at you directly. Upon hearing this, the king's face became extremely ugly, and the previous majesty disappeared without a trace. Why don't you want it? Kamajim Saint asked. Although the king is not reconciled, but there is no way, celestial dragon's orders are absolute. Then he lay on the ground like a dog obediently. Please, the great Kamajim, use me as a cushion and go to the island, the king replied. King, don't do it, you do this. Before the guard had finished speaking, the king reprimanded. To shut up. When Saint Kamajim heard this, he smiled, stepped on the back of the king, landed on the island, and then began to move forward. Get up. Lieutenant General Marine stretched his hand to the king who was lying on the ground. After the king got up, he stood on the side like the guard of celestial dragons and moved forward slowly. The cheers of the citizens are getting louder and louder. Sage Kamajim frowned. You gang of untouchables, you quarreled me. After all, he drew out the spear from his waist and fired at a person casually. It fell with the sound of gunfire. A woman fell to the ground, and the blood quickly stained her white clothes and the floor tiles on the ground. Seeing the woman lying on the ground, Kamajim Sheng laughed wildly. Die, untouchable, boom. Immediately after that, several shots were fired in succession. One by one fell to the ground, and the cheers stopped. I guess it's just watching the end of the excitement. Su Yu took a sip of tea calmly. However, what makes Su Yu somewhat different is that only a few citizens ran away, and most of them knelt down, bowed their heads, and did not make a sound. Perhaps, in their eyes, whoever runs first will die first. This guy is really damn it. Jiraiya said solemnly. This world is like this, with such rights, I believe even other people will do this. Aizen's mouth raised slightly and smiled. The group was discussing, but Suyu was on the side, watching quietly, without making a sound. Of course, Suyu didn't intend to stop him, he didn't have this idle time to care about the lives and deaths of others. He is not a virgin, he is a pirate, so if he doesn't do evil to others, it's impossible to ask for rewards to save others. 3.6 Karma Jim fired several shots in a row, and when he seemed to feel that it was not fun, he took the gun back. What do I want? Kamajim Saint suddenly said to the king. I'll have someone move you to the ship myself later. The king said softly. Well, you don't have to follow me. This time, I don't plan to go to your dirty palace. What about the slave? I want it all, send me aboard. Alright, I understand. After waiting for the celestial dragons to leave, the king arranged for people to start carrying the treasure onto the ship, as well as dragging dozens of slaves. Chapter 110. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Just at this time, Ebuk rushed out directly, their speed was very fast, and they were approaching the king. Some guards did not react, and the king fell directly to the ground. In an instant, there was a mess of porridge here, and the citizens fled frantically. After some marines staying on the marine warship reacted, they quickly rushed down from the warship. Brothers, count these treasures as much as you can, Ebuk shouted loudly. At this moment, his heart was slightly ecstatic. He didn't expect to assassinate the king 100 times smoother than he expected. And, more importantly, you can get so many treasures in front of you for nothing. Okay, Captain. Every time, the men led by Ebuk snatched a box of treasures from the guards. However, when they just wanted to leave the place where the incident occurred, they were already surrounded by marines. Su Yu, who calmly drank tea on it, frowned slightly. I'll go, wherever these guys come from, we dare to snatch the prey we fancy. This is, my brother. Emily said suddenly. Su Yu glanced at Emily, slightly surprised, and said lightly, your brother can't do it either. I didn't mean that, Emily explained quickly. She just wanted to tell Su Yu that the next one is her brother. Su Yu withdrew his eyes from her, ignored him, and continued to look down. You guys, this is Celestial Dragons, do you all dare to grab it? One of the Marine Major Generals shouted. What are Celestial Dragons? When our captain traversed the Celestial Dragon's nest, how about you Marine? One of the pirates sneered. Su Yu was slightly startled when he heard this. Could it be that we started and another pirate crossed the Holy Land Mary Geois? I don't know, you know, I generally don't know much about the outside situation. Senju Hashirama responded. I don't know, I just read the newspaper occasionally, but I didn't see that the pirate group also crossed the Holy Land Mary Geois. Lem said softly. Your brother's captain is okay, with my demeanor, the world government just can't get used to it. Su Yu said to Emily. Emily just wanted to say something, but when she reached her mouth, she swallowed it back. She cast her eyes on Tornado, and wanted to ask Tornado. How should she answer it? Tornado shook her head, and Emily could only choose to remain silent. Crossing the Holy Land Mary Geois. Are you from the Super Dimension Pirates? Major General Marine's face changed suddenly. Yes, we are members of the second team of the Super Dimension Pirate Group. One of the pirates exclaimed triumphantly. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Puff. As soon as he said this, Suyu who was drinking tea on it sprayed out. What the hell is this? What the hell is it? With these words out, Suyu's mind suddenly flashed past Tornado and told himself about the Super Dimension second team yesterday. Tornado, I remember you told me yesterday about the Super Dimension second team. Tornado was silent for a few seconds, then nodded. Good fellow, it's really okay to make trouble directly under our name. Suyu cursed. At the same time, the following Major General Marine was a little bit embarrassed on the spot when he heard that they were members of the Super Dimension second team, whether it was true or not. I advise you not to mess around and take care of things. You Marine slaughter makes us not afraid, let alone you people. Ebuk told Major General Marine. After hesitating for a few seconds, Major General Marine frowned. I don't care whether you were a member of the Super Dimension Pirates or Rock's Pirate. Anyway, you can't grab Celestial Dragons. If this is the case, don't blame our ruthless men, brothers, kill them. Soon, a battle between the pirates and Marine began. Don't say anything about the people that Ebuk had convened, the strength is still a little bit, and they are not afraid of Marine's surrounding. However, they are not much happy, the Celestial Dragon's guard, Marine Lieutenant will descend from the sky. Covering armament hockey with both hands, he directly hit Ebuk with a punch. Boom. In an instant, Ebuk flew out directly. Don't kill me. Dare to make trouble here. Lieutenant General Marine said coldly. Lieutenant General Ron, these guys are members of the second team of the Super Dimension Pirates. Major General Marine stepped forward to remind him. Ron was taken aback for a moment. The second team of the Super Dimension Pirates. I haven't heard that there are very few members of the Super Dimension Pirates. When is the team? I don't know, that's what they said. Major General Marine replied. Suddenly, at this moment, a voice came not far away. You are right, the number of our Super Dimension Pirate group is indeed a bit small. As soon as this voice fell, everyone heard the reputation. When they saw that it was Su Yu, all Marines' faces became stiff. Although they have never fought against Su Yu, they are exactly the same as the picture on the wanted order. In their minds, a thought appeared. This man is the captain of the Super Dimension Pirates, Su Yu. Those members of the second team of the Super Dimension Pirates group, when they saw Su Yu, 603 suddenly became excited. This is our Captain Su Yu. Unexpectedly, he really came to this island. My dream has come true. I have also achieved it, and finally I can see the real man I admire. One of the pirates helped Ebuk up not far away, and said excitedly, Captain, our captain is here. When Ebuk heard this, his face was unusually stiff. The arrival of Su Yu also proved that his lie was about to be exposed. Su Yu fell down from the window and counted the boxes of treasures. There were more than 10 boxes. Moreover, this box is quite big, and this king is really rich. These are mine. Su Yu smiled. Have you heard? These belong to our Super Dimension Pirate group. One of the men also shouted. Suddenly, a voice came from behind Marine. That untouchable dare to snatch my things. As soon as the voice fell, Kamajin Sheng pushed Marine away, and walked out with a high-up look.